Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Aegis Defenders League. We are here with our seventh and final week of the regular season. And our final featured matchup is going to be Oblivion Esports taking on When in Rome. My name is Gordo. I'm joined tonight by Gigatron. And Gigatron, how are you feeling about tonight's matchup?
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup. I mean, it's basically what we said. When in Rome can't drop any games in this. Has to 2-0 in order to potentially qualify for playoffs here. And yeah, it's a do or die one at this point. I'm really excited for this series, and I'm hoping that When in Rome comes through with it.
Yeah,
I definitely didn't pick them. I think I picked Oblivion with this one, but I definitely think that When in Rome can come out with it. I think it's just we gotta see how draft goes.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I picked When in Rome. If those who are checking out the Aegis report can hold me accountable for that one. But yeah, as you were saying there, though, we did a little quick maths on the standings before we were getting started on stream, and Oblivion Esports, they're mathematically eliminated. They're here playing spoiler and playing for pride. But when in Rome, with a couple of things falling in their favor, they need 2-0, and they do need their opponents over. I am forgetting which team is next to them, but I can pull it up right here. Predictive Gaming Anubis. If Predictive Gaming Anubis goes 0-2 and When in Rome goes 2-0, When in Rome can move on up to that sixth seed and get themselves into the play-ins. As tiebreakers are based on percentage win-loss there once you have the same series record. So When in Rome going to be keeping their fingers crossed there and trying to focus on getting the 2-0 here up against Oblivion. Oblivion, they got their chance to play spoiler. They've got their chance to get up to 2 wins, knock down When in Rome, keeping them at 1, and move out of that 8th place position at the very least to look back on once the season of the ADL is done and dusted. But When in Rome are really the ones who have a lot of stakes at stake.
Exactly, and I mean we see draft is going through right now, and a lot of I feel like good standard bands that you're going to kind of see one in the meta, but two still very niche to both of these teams. You're seeing a Victor and Nautilus taken away right away, with the Janna and Kha'Zix as well coming out from Oblivion.
Yeah, directed at my back is sore. I'm curious to see if we're going to see the Vi ban come on across as well. The Janna ban, also not a big surprise to me. Zellerok's big enchanter player, really one of the only supports in the league, and one of the only supports you'll find around nowadays who really is not playing a lot of those heavy engaged champions. The guy's got no games of Nautilus, no games of Leona. He played one game of Blitzcrank, one game of Pantheon, but that's the closest thing you're going to find to any of those hard engaged beefy supports that have really made up such a big chunk of the meta for so long.
Yeah, and we get a first spec Hecarim. I think this is very good for When in Rome. A really good jungler that can gank, get on top of people very easy. One that can dive if needed, but sets up very well with the onslaught of shadows. So this way they can set that fear potentially behind the enemy champion and then send them towards the team. So I'm hoping that they get some good combos here and can line up with whatever they're going to pick next.
Yeah, gonna be a pretty powerful selection there for my back is sore. He has, to my knowledge, not busted out too much of the Hecarim thus far this season, but is definitely a pick to have our eyes on. He's got a couple of games on it already, actually. I was looking at the wrong form. So he's going to be happy to bring that one back on out. The Renekton going to be the blind of the top lane here for Mr. Ravencat, and the Senna going to come on through as well. For this side of Oblivion, we're going to have to see if Pierce Blade is going to be the one taking that, or if it's going to be piloted by Esmond.
Yeah, it would definitely be very interesting to see who takes it. I'm fine with either way. It really doesn't matter to me personally. I mean, you're gonna go fasting. I feel like anyways, and it just would be interesting if you get the double AC. Do you get APC with the Senna too, or what's gonna be? But we see Anivia and Jinx get picked up here by When in Rome.
All right, so When in Rome going to give Y Rebellion that Anivia. He's played a couple of times
Ooh.
already this season. One of his pocket picks, and then the Jinx going to be locked on in for Ivo BBC. That is OBCD rather, mixing up my letters a little bit, but definitely still really present in the meta. One of those high pick rate 80 carries. knows that they're facing off against the Senna. Maybe even the Senna Karthus, is that Karthus going to be locked on in here for the side of Oblivion. Could be taking that one in the jungle, could be taking that one in the mid lane, could be taking that one in the bot lane along with the Senna. There's a whole lot of flexible options there for that guy.
Exactly, and with that threat, you kind of wonder where are they really going to play it, because especially when you have players that can flex this around a lot, you kind of have to wonder, right, is this going to Nore, is this going to Esben, is it Bam that's going to play it, is Princeton going to pull it out here? I honestly is going to be a crazy one when we see it, but the Silence Ban right away definitely warranted. I mean, you already have Dominus, you already have Karthus little crashing down on people, and, you know, if you can avoid getting extra damage and a shield be put on, you know, the enemy team, yeah, you're definitely gonna take away that Silas.
For sure here, and they don't want that Karthus ult getting stolen away either. They don't really want to deal with the Dominus, that extra tankiness, always something you love to be able to have in your pocket when you're playing that Silas, so they're going to be happy to take that one off the board. The Jarvan going to be banned away now by When in Rome. They have a great opportunity to really pinch the jungle pool here and try to strangle Nore out of the game for as soon as they can. So we're going to be keeping an eye here on what other champions end up getting banned away. The Xin Zhao is another that would be pretty high on my list, although the Hecarim can tend to do pretty well in those lanes, or those matchups rather. So we'll have to see what ends up getting locked on in. The Zilean going to be the additional ban now for the side of Oblivion. We've been seeing more and more of him in the mid lane. He would be certainly pretty good up against this Karthus, as well against the dive that Renekton's going to bring to the table. There's that Xin Zhao ban we talked about being hovered. We'll see if it gets locked on in. The Lee Sin, of course, also going to be a perfectly valid option.
Yeah, I think either is really good. I would say Zen maybe more so because you have more things that are going to be thrown at him between Jinx Rockets. You have Anivia throwing out or Icicle or the Orb, where, you know what, if you can protect yourself from that, then you get to stay alive that little bit longer with that Crescent Guard. So, yeah, it's definitely a warranted ban.
For sure here. So, the Lee Sin certainly going to be on the list of champions that might get locked in, but they're going to save jungle for last, or they've already locked it in the form of this Karthus, and they're going to lock in this Yone here. Could be going in towards the mid lane. Still hard to tell if it's going to be Karthus Senna bottom or if it's going to be Karthus in the jungle here for the side of Nore. When in Rome, not going to have perfect information on that. Going to have to lock themselves in an additional solo laner as well as a support. That Lulu being hovered for Zelarox, that's certainly one that he's picked up a lot this season, and would not be surprised at all to see that one locked on in. Has played it just as many times as the Janna, and there it goes. Going to be locked on in here to pair up with the Jinx in that bottom lane. And now the top laner going to be the last one to choose. They know they're up against Renekton. It was first picked for the side of Oblivion. What are they going to take into it? F369 hovering the Mundo for now.
Yeah, I think the Mundo is still a really good pick. Throw cleavers out, try to weaken out the Renekton from afar. Even if you get pushed into your turret, you're still able to farm pretty easy between both. Just smashing in with whatever thing you're going to have. If you're going to have a briefcase or a surgical med kit, whatever it's going to be, as well as the cleaver. I mean, you can farm pretty well with them even under turrets. So I think even if he gets bullied out, he'll be fine there. And that Lulu pickup is still great. You're going to be able to, again, polymorph someone that's trying to come in, still be able to shield yourself or Jinx, get that regrowth going onto someone, and you're able to still make any hyper carry be really potent. So they took it at Ornn.
Yeah,
okay.
The Ornn, so that does. So here's the thing. So it could be Karthus jungle with some kind of Senna and one of the Bruisers bot lane. Could be Senna Renekton. Could be Senna Yone. Could also be, you know, Ornn jungle was a thing for a very short period of time. Kind of got nerfed out of viability before it really had the chance to be a little bit more widespread in pro play. I know it was one of those picks that, you know, LS and the church were really advocating for, though, at the time, because he just full cleared really, really safely, pretty quickly as well, and could just sit around and farm up all day and be a big, strong tank later on. We're not really in that quite meta anymore. You know, there's still hard farmers in the form of the Hecarim and the Udyr, but I'm not 100% sure that's the optimal way to go here. I'm leaning towards Karthus jungle, plus, you know, Senna Renekton bot or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to set a Karthus bot, personally. I think out of everything, but I think it could set up even well with, I think, Yone, maybe over the Renekton, I think Yone has the better potential to like draw out more of that damage, create more of that poke, still sustain very easily. And again, it's Yasuo's brother, so with that crit being able to be built up onto him, he'll be able to still do a lot of damage and survive pretty well. And you have the built-in shield for yourself too. So I think between that extra healing, as well as again just Senna just being the great support slash ADC that she is, yeah, I think that's a really good booster for them. But like you said, the Ornn could go anywhere at this point. Ornn could go mid, Ornn could go top, Ornn could be wherever at this point. I would really be interested to see if it's the Ornn jungle. I don't think it's that great anymore, but I'm definitely wondering.
Yeah, I don't think it is either. I think if you've got these 5 champions and you get to choose where they go, if Oblivion Esports ARAMs these 5 champions, and you're picking one of these guys to be a hard farming jungler, I think Karthus is the direction you really do want to end up going here. But yeah, I'm interested to see here. I think you can be a little bit more aggressive in the bot lane with the center Renekton. He's going to be willing to dive forward a little bit earlier. We'll let you get that piercing darkness through him and into an enemy, which is really the setup you're really looking for in some of those more aggressive lanes. But you could also just play really safe in the bottom lane. You got to support in this Senna to try to keep your Yone safe, to let him get farmed on up. You're up against the Lulu, so you're not really at risk of getting hard engaged on too early. Instead, just kind of trying to survive through the poke, and the piercing darkness will do its job of keeping you safe from that one, at least to some degree. So yeah, both options are certainly on the table here. I'm really curious to see what Oblivion Esports ends up wanting to go for here. Yeah, the other thing, by the way, worth pointing out, Princeton is in for this game. He has not played for Oblivion the entire season. He's listed as their starting mid laner, but this is going to be his first game with the squad. He's a big Yone guy, so I expect him to play Yone over something like the Renekton or the Ornn.
True. I mean, it's definitely more comfortable in the mid lane, and I think Renekton, especially into Anivia, would be really interesting as to how that would even go for them. But yeah, like you said, the Renekton Senna bot lane definitely going to be interesting. You can get that scaling very well. You still have someone that's kind of supportive, but not totally like out of the blue either. Where maybe I would have liked a Scion maybe with this, or even a Pantheon would have been still pretty good.
Let's get wild with it, Gigatron. What if it's Ornn support and then Senna is like in a solo lane? The possibilities are endless.
I mean, we can definitely go in that at that point. It's when we saw this draft, I'm like, oh no, where is everything going?
Yeah, we do have the inclined draft coming up on the other screen here, so I guess we can feel comfortable spoiling it a little bit here. Mr. Ravencat is locked in the Ornn for the top lane. No Ray is locked in the Karthus for the jungle. Princeton's locked in the Yone in the mid lane, and so it does look like it is going to be that Senna Renekton bot lane. Esmond, the one locking in the Senna there, so that would be Bam going in on this Renekton. As, I'm just noticing now, Pierce Blade not playing today. It is going to be Bam in that bottom lane, busting out the Renekton.
Yeah, I think this is also a real interesting one that you choose Renekton. I would have, again, chosen potentially somewhat different, but I guess it's comfort. You really kind of want to show, like, hey, if they went with Scion, I wouldn't know. Like, I might have been like Scion Senna. Okay, maybe it's bot, maybe it's top, because we see Scion be played tremendously in top lane. Obviously, he's a really good pusher right now, whether you decide to go Prowlers or you go for the tank build that still does a crap ton of damage, especially when you charge your choo-choo train into the turret. You're still going to knock it down pretty easily and everything there. So, yeah, I'm definitely interested in this Renekton play that come out.
Yeah, and I really like seeing this wild draft from the side of the Oblivion team. They, they're the ones who really have nothing to lose coming into this series here. They, of course, I'm sure, like to end with 2 series wins instead of just the one. So, always a matter of pride and to play spoiler and to try to move yourself up in the standings, even if you can't actually make it into the next stage. When in Rome, though, they have the chance to try to move on here. If everything goes according to plan, like we said, it does. They're not in control of their own fate. They have to get the 2-0 tonight and rely on a 0-2 from Predictive Gaming Anubis. But Predictive Gaming Anubis, they're playing Wash Players United, who are currently 5-1. They've only dropped 3 games the entire season. PGA getting 2-0'd, not far fetched at all. So it's really, when in Rome, they're about as close to controlling their fate as they could hope to be at this stage of the game. With a 1-5, 5-11 record, being able to 2-0 here in the final week and still make play-ins is a great position for them, and it is an opportunity that you got to believe they're going to want to take advantage of.
I agree. I think this is a really good opportunity for them, especially with this interesting draft definitely coming out from Oblivion. But yeah, at this point, I mean, I'm really excited to see how this game goes. I'm sure we will see as we see this timer ticking down for a spectator delay. We'll see you guys shortly.
Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's broadcast of the Aegis Defenders League, where we got When in Rome taking on Oblivion Esports here. And what is going to be the final match of the regular season? Y Rebellion looking to get a stun onto No Ray right away, but No Ray going to be able to avoid out on that one, calling Princeton over for a little bit of backup. Meanwhile, I have OBCD and Zelarox invading in the bottom lane, going to force out Esmond. A little bit of poke damage coming on through here, little gold generated for Zelarox there off of the support item. Other than that, though, everybody just going to return to their positions, and no invade's going to end up going through successfully.
No, I mean, you get the good ward there still, just in case, someone does come through the river and try to ward on that top side. So, still a good job by Wonder Rome to do that. But we see kind of an invade. I don't know. F369 is just trying to get some trading in there on the Raven, but takes a little bit too much for himself.
He's being aggressive there with the infected bone saws, trying to get them into the Ornn early on. The first ones are the most effective. They do deal percentage HP damage. So, landing them early on, going to set him up to be effective in lane later on and make it much easier to go through and farm safely. Y Rebellion up against Princeton in the mid lane. Going to be an interesting matchup to keep an eye on here. This Anivia could be pretty strong early on where she wants to be here. And F369, he's posturing super aggressively, trying to make something happen in the early lane, getting a little bit of a trade up against Mr. Ravencat, but not really winning out on health bars too much.
No. I mean, it's okay. I mean, the thing they're worried about is basically just try to smack in as much as possible. They have grass, both of them, so they just trade back and regain health pretty easily. So,
yeah, absolutely here. No Ray has the exhaust on the Karthus this time around, so as well as the Dark Harvest, so it is not going to be that first strike Karthus looking for gold generation. It's going to be hoping to get himself some kills. Is F369 going to pop the ghost to the top lane, looking to go all in on a Mr. Ravencat, who is going to be forced to flash away there. Great play by F369, going to get himself the summoner spell advantage here. Has to be careful not to end up going down to the follow-up damage for Mr. Ravencat, though. One more Q, one more W, and that's first blood for Mr. Ravencat. Now No Ray stuck in a 1v1 in the river, going to end up getting traded back onto. My Back is Sore picks that one on up. Now Y Rebellion is here forcing off Princeton, but Mr. Ravencat is coming on down, and My Back is Sore has no flash. He's stuck in the pit, and he's going on down. Double kill to the Ornn here at 3 minutes into the game. Princeton going to lose a whole bunch of HP in that trade in the mid lane, but this is all about Mr. Ravencat, baby.
Yeah, I mean, Ravencat is just doing what he needs to do. Got the good trade out there between his Obelisk and the Bell's Breath, and even though, unfortunately, Bell's Breath didn't kill My Back is Sore there, My Back is Sore definitely feeling sore, I think, from, unfortunately, losing out to this trade there. Like, yeah, Karthus was still able to get his Skittles out, do a lot of damage, and oh my.
Ooh, that's a flash all-in here from Bam in the bottom lane. Esmond going to be able to pick up that kill, but My Back is Sore arriving here. Just a little bit too late to save I of OBCD, but maybe enough to trade back up against Bam. That's a big regen there, though, from the Cold Meek. He's going to turn it back around on the My Back is Sore, and now it's going to be Zelarox going on down next, but he manages to make the trade happen up against Bam. He's going to fall down to No Ray, though, just slides on through, turns on the E, picks up the kill. 5-2, though, on the scoreboard for Oblivion Esports. They get way more than they put in that bottom lane.
Yeah, 2 for 1 first time around, 3 for 1 the second time around. Man, you gotta love this. Oh, quick trades going in there to stop that back from Y Rebellion here, but oh.
Yeah, ooh, another big trade for Mr. Ravencat in the top lane. He's already got the Bammy Cinder, feeling very strong here. Got the double buffs as well from his pickup on to My Back is Sore earlier on. And, this is not a lane that you're having a fun time in as F369 anymore, although here comes My Back is Sore to maybe try to make it a little bit fun again. Gonna knock him back on in onto this Mundo, but the trade is coming on through, and Mr. Ravencat just takes him out. Now fighting in his own minions, getting the procs of the grasp, looking for the double kill. Where's the Bellows Breath? Coming back on up in just a few short seconds, but My Back is Sore has gotten far enough away, and Mr. Ravencat does not want to give those double buffs back over.
No, I mean, if he could get like another Obelisk out where he could have gotten damage and then just crashed in with his charge, yeah, it would have been okay. Maybe he could have gotten a kill there because he would have had Bell's Breath up too, but a little unfortunate with the timing there with his abilities. But you know what? Still come out for 1 for 0. They're coming out pretty hard here, and yeah, this lead, especially on Mr. Ravencat, is just showing strong right now.
Yeah, huge lead there for this Ornn. You know, not showing in the CS, but showing in the kills department for sure. And on his next recall, he completes it there, gets himself a couple more tank items in the form of the Null Magic Mantle and the Cloth Armor. And now is just going to be even more difficult to actually get any damage to stick on him from the side of F369. And, you know, having opted for the no flash setup, you know, you want to be able to play a little bit more aggressively, but not going to end up paying off too much here this time around up against Mr. Ravencat, who is just really dominating the matchup now. Got the first blood, got fed an additional kill off of that, and now is just running away with the thing.
Exactly. I mean, and, hey, you know what? If you're able to... Ooh, my Rebellion.
Getting engaged on by Princeton here is down a level, Princeton, so he's not going to be able to go on in with the Fate Sealed. Going to end up linking on back. Trades about as much damage as he takes, but is pretty far down on CS up against Y Rebellion. It's to be expected as one of these melee carries facing off against the Anivia, but once he ticks over to level 6, he's going to have to be trying to find some angles to really get this farm into his champion to be a little bit stronger later on.
Exactly. Good. Goes in again. Good trades, but again, just trying to poke him out as much as he can. Maybe try to pop the egg here, but ain't going to be anytime soon.
Nah, that egg is staying strong for now. Not even getting into that form quite yet. As No Ray going to be waiting around in the bush here. Sees buyback his sword. They're going to try to collapse in onto him. It's going to be the Fate Seal just to close the gap, but Princeton can't collapse onto this horse. He's just a little bit too fast. Uses the devastating charge, speeds on up, runs back into the Tribrush to regroup with his bottom lane. That's going to be Princeton's ulti used for pretty much nothing there over on the side of When in Rome.
I mean, he is the fast. He ain't no Sonic like Rammus, but, you know, he is still pretty quick. So, fortunately, won't be able to catch up. But I do like that this means then he's going to have to try and go get his jungle, because now Karthus and Esmond and Bam could go and take this dragon here for free.
Yeah, setting up here pretty nicely. They got this big, strong Renekton in the bottom lane. They feel pretty comfortable being able to step up and take that Lizard there. Bam is the one farming in this lane. He's got 44 CS for the 55 of OBCD, so keeping up just fine, as definitely getting pushed over the edge by those kills they were able to pick up earlier on. Got a kill and 2 assists in his pocket, and is definitely going to be happy about that one. Waiting to tick over to level 6 here, too. This is also going to be a very powerful level 6 combo now that Esmond has it, so they can stun and guarantee the hit there on the Dawning Shadow. Going to be wisely flashed away from by Zalarox, though, as No Ray starts to show up. They do not want to end up giving any more kills over to this bottom lane, and they really don't want to give more Dark Harvest stacks over to this Karthus.
Definitely down on Princeton.
Yeah, his soul unbound, diving on forward to get a good amount of damage traded onto him. No Ray is here as well. But, you know, Anivia still at half HP, still has the egg in the tank as well, so not really going to be a wise choice to dive on. And, you know, going to be surviving just fine here and continuing to farm on up, doing what the Anivias do, knowing that in the later game he's going to be able to clear waves all day, he's going to be able to stack up tons of items, and he's going to be a great threat in these team fights. Feeling pretty comfortable so far as Princeton going to be forced to flash away there as My Back is Sore goes on in for the Onslaught of Shadows. Threatens to knock Princeton back on into Y Rebellion, and that's going to be enough to make him blow the flash.
Exactly. Hey, you know what? Run a flash. I mean, it's definitely a good trade, because now you're getting yourself in that slightly better position to potentially get a gank on him. Hopefully hope for some more, but F369, as much as he has that regeneration there, is still getting chunked down pretty well by the Ornn.
Yeah, going pretty low, sustaining just fine as he is that Mundo. He's got that extra regen. He's also got the grasp whenever he can manage to proc it. But Mr. Ravencat, definitely the stronger one in this matchup. I mean, look at the items here. He's got the full-on Iceborne already completed here. And F369, he's got a red rock. Gonna turn that into the Bammy Cinder at the very least. But very, very tough position to be in here as F369. You're just so down in the itemization that it feels very tough to play out.
Yeah, I mean, he does get that Bambi Cinder, but again, he's so far behind at this point. He's got that 2 deaths on himself now, is behind that CS that little bit too, and just with that brittle coming out from Ornn, he's just able to smack down and do way too much. But at 369,
Yeah, coming on through here. Does have the passive to sustain on through that I call the Forge God, but the damage is just a little bit too much. Princeton gonna claim that kill for himself here. Take down that Moon to 0-3, get his first kill of the game, and IVOBCD falling so low, and there's the ultimate from No Ray to claim himself the kill from across the map. First one on the board off of the back of that Karthus ultimate. Gonna get himself a Dark Harvest stack as well. This is a very good start here for Oblivion Esports. They are super far ahead. Princeton, nice dodge there on the Flash Frost using his Soul Unbound, and he's going to force Y Rebellion into the egg here. Not going to be able to finish off the kill, but now Turret going down as well from No Ray, picking on up that Rift Herald earlier on, and across the map, domination from Oblivion Esports.
Yeah, they're playing this very well. They are having a dominating bot lane that works well together. Unfortunately, the last charge there does not go off for Scuttle, or sorry, I should say Rift. But now we do see that, yeah, top side they lost that. Again, able to pop the egg. You're able to, again, just put yourself even farther ahead. No Ray now has 4 stacks on the Dark Harvest, so he is definitely getting there. If he could get more of these ultimate stacks, or just again just be able to pop people down with his Skittles, then yeah, it's gonna be really good for him to just keep captivating this game. Again, it's really not him being the show. It's definitely being Raven Cat right now, as well as Bam. Bam still performing very well in this Renekton, even though kind of were questioning how this was gonna work in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, really like it as a lane duo here. You know, especially once you know you're facing off against the Lulu, assuming they were willing to flex that Renekton around. It feels like a really good selection there because you know you're gonna be able to be aggressive in that early game. You know both of these targets are gonna be really squishy. They're not gonna be willing to tussle with that Renekton when he's gotten backed up by the Senna, by the Dawning Shadows, and it means you know they're gonna get a little bit of additional CS. But once the all-in comes through, it's gonna be all up to the Renekton, baby. There's the full-in combo. They managed to take out IVOBCD, and that's going to be the regen coming on through for Bam. Double kill for Esmond and Bam in the bottom lane as Oblivion Esports continue to take even more, and IVOBCD continues to fall even farther behind.
Yeah, I have OBCD. I mean, it's unfortunate because you think that with this comp, you would hope that there'd be more love maybe given down to the spot side, especially from My Back is Sore. But unfortunately, he is down here. He's just down here way too late. And Esmond and Bam have been captivating this bot lane now. And they're going to get the second Drake here, too. Again, no contest coming out from When in Rome.
Color me captivated. Gigatron, this Renekton bot lane paying off big time as, you know, it really feels like there's not a great answer to it here from the composition of When in Rome. My Back is Sore hasn't been able to make anything happen on that side of the map either. Going to get a gig engage here on to Norway, though, who is going to fall pretty low, going to be pretty easily shut down. They give that kill over to Y Rebellion. It is definitely where you want that gold to be going. It's going to be a great chance to maybe get them a little bit farther into the game with this Anivia being able to be a little bit stronger, but still, little misstep by No Ray, by no means going to put When in Rome back into this game, though. Alright, good little trade here up against Princeton. Going to force the flash, though. He dives back on in with the Fate Sealed, and Y Rebellion with no egg has to respect the damage from that Yone, has to respect the Ignite, and flashes away.
Exactly. And now Princeton has his flash up, so he can go in for another riskier play, like right now. Ooh.
Oh,
just
right.
Shortly there.
Yeah, I mean, very close to being able to pick up another one there, but doesn't end up going on through. My Back is Sore, running away with it in the top lane, getting himself quite a fair bit of CS, but now finding Mr. Ravencat, as that is going to be Mr. Ravencat trying to make the escape happen, as that is going to be my stream breaking. Can't see what's going on.
Oh my gosh, but yeah, this game is going crazy right now. You get the ultimate coming out now from Karthus, and Princeton able to just get in very easy, just doing so much damage right now. My Back is Sore is just taking on way too much damage here, but survives and lives through it. Oh my gosh.
All right, the lesson here, Gigatron, is that I need to reinstall Discord. I don't know how this keeps happening, but big fight there, it looks like, for When in Rome. They end up coming out ahead. Y Rebellion ends up going on down, but they get a kill on a Princeton, they get a kill on a Mr. Ravencat, and they're still down 6k gold. They still got quite the mountain to climb back on up, but that's going to be a great start.
Exactly. I think it's going to be a little bit more. I mean, again, it's a scaling game that we're having here. You have the Jinx who really needs to start popping off soon. I mean, yes, a lot of CS is still going towards Bam right now, where he's got that pretty much 20 CS lead right now. And yeah, just the kills and assists alone are really putting him that far ahead that they really need to kind of respect that coming out from Oblivion here. And as much as I would love to see things differently, it's just a whole waiting game again. We need Y Rebellion to again get more ahead, needs to get some kills and more farm. But oh no, 4-man coming in.
Yeah, big squad coming through under F369. He's got the ultimate, but the maximum dosage certainly not going to get him out of there. Princeton diving forward onto my back. His sword getting a fair bit of damage, but they're just waiting around for him to blink back to his soul. Princeton likely going to go on down here, but that's a big dawning shadow from across the map. Not quite going to be enough to save his life, but definitely going to keep him alive for just a couple more minutes. Now, Mr. Ravencat in a 1 versus 4. So very tanky, though. Has the call to Forge God, misses it off the polymorph there. Great play by Zellerox to try to keep himself alive. Mr. Ravencat turns it around onto my back is sore, crushes him down, and turns it into a 1-for-1. Meanwhile, his team pushing in the top lane, getting the inhibitor turret here at 16 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, you sat too to basically get the inhibitor turret, and I think that's worth it. Really doesn't get too much back towards when in Rome right now, other than, yeah, you just give over 2 kills, and now you just get more objectives for it. I think this is a good trade for Oblivion, and they're going to be knocking down this outside mid turret right now. They should be able to take it pretty easy here. Oh, no, Rebellion's coming.
Yeah, absolutely here. Wow, that's a lot of damage coming on through there from Esmond. I also noticed in that last fight, you know, we got a rare interaction in this game, Gigatron, because Ornn's Searing Charge destroys player-made terrain, and normally the only thing that affects is his own Q, but it does work on a Nivea wall as well, so he can be busted through that wall if the situation presents itself this game. Not 100% sure it's going to be relevant, but it's something to keep our eyes on.
Exactly. I don't think we're going to have to worry about it too much, but yeah, it's definitely one of those things that he can hit. It's kind of like the Trento Pillar or, you know, his own Obelisk, a couple other things, as I keep trying to remember terrain things that people have, but yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they do it here. Has been clearing out the war and avoiding out Zelrox with the picks there, and yeah, I think this is still again going really heavily into Oblivion's favor right now. They're clearing out these wards very easily, getting set up for this third right here. I really hope my Bacchusor can do something about this, but yeah, we have Jinx in the top side. You know, what's going on here?
Yeah, no, definitely trying to just funnel more gold into IVOBCD, but that's going to mean giving up this dragon for sure. Here comes the Onslaught of Shadows, but he just throws himself a 1v4. It's going to be Princeton picking out the kill, going up 14-7. And now with about a 7k gold lead here, it's going to be the side of Oblivion Esports marching their way down the mid lane. They've got the Rift Herald in their pockets, too. They've picked up everything on this map. Gonna be a big objective bounty picked up by IVOBCD in the top lane, but definitely going to be much more gold going towards this Oblivion Esports squad as they're looking to siege even farther on to this mid-inner turret. Bam, taking a whole bunch of damage, but just gets regen right back on up with the Dawning Shadow. The flank from Mr. Ravencat is so good here, is keeping everybody locked on down. Y Rebellion manages to stay alive with a nice little shield there from the Lulu, but they're losing their entire base for this Gigatron. They've lost every turret in the mid lane off the back of this play. They've lost F369 as well, and they're going to end up just farther and farther behind in trade for just the top outer turret and a little bit of CS on IVOBCD.
Yeah, I mean, at least you traded a objective. I think that's at least smart, but the problem is now you just lost 3. It's 3 big ones because now you just crack through the base there. You have 2 inhibitors up that are exposed right now, and they also have a ward in there, so if they really want to have Ravencat go in. Oh, no Ray.
Yeah, no Ray. Getting a couple of those Qs on through, trying to take out the horse with the Skittles. Chunks him down, gets through the shield, but now the flank from F369. Okay, now the card is going to end up going down, but he gets the trade there. Lands enough Skittles, manages to take out my Bacchusor, makes it into a 1-for-1, gets himself another Dark Harvest proc as well. Feels pretty good if you're no Ray.
Yeah, definitely feels good for him. I kind of have a feeling that unfortunately my Bacchusor is normally for carrying right now, and just unfortunately he's not getting quite there with that. Not able to steal the dragon, not able to really secure more of these kills. And even though he, was there for the participation in that one, he still has to trade his life in order to get that. And I don't know if that's really wise anymore of trading more of your lives so you could just get one. I don't know. They are trying to clear for this Baron here, but I don't know. I think this is one objective that they're definitely probably not getting.
Yeah, it's going to certainly be tough to make this happen unless they can get some kind of sneak in there, and every. I really like this draft from Oblivion Esports, especially because it covers a lot of the traditional weaknesses you'd expect to see, when you go for some of these off-the-wall picks. You don't have your Renekton, you have Renekton in the bot lane instead of a traditional AD carry, but you have Senna and Yone to make up that kind of traditional DPS that you'd look for. You got a Karthus in the jungle, so you don't really have that engage potential, but you have Ornn in the top lane to be able to come on through with the Call of the Forge God to make those plays happen. So really well-rounded composition they put themselves together here. Everything isn't in the position you would normally find it, but everything is still there. As this is going to be Princeton potentially diving on in again. There goes a big engage on a No-Ray. He's just going to get one shot, but he does still have the Death Defied for a little bit. He's going to start channeling that Requiem, gets a fair bit of damage on a cross, but that's about all they can find. No follow-up fight to be had, but look at how low the health bars are. The carries just can't stand up to the Karthus ultimate, and that's the only thing that's damaging them.
Exactly, and Requiem is just one of those really great abilities that Fate Seal being used.
Alright, diving in for Zelarox. Not going to find him. Gonna snap back. A minute 20 to go on this Soul Dragon. This is the time to fight if you're winning Rome. You need to win 2-0 to make it out here and get yourself into the play-in stage. It's kind of do or die on this Dragon here. Gonna be very tough to fight back from if you end up losing the Infernal Soul.
It will be really hard. Again, the Skittles, the Requiem's gonna hit even harder and harder if we go look at our Narc's harvest check right now. He's at 9. So even though we'd maybe like to see a little bit more at this point, he's still efficiently being able to poke them out, do a lot of damage, and you have that great follow-up still between Princeton, Esmond, and Bam, just using their combos of their damages, their abilities and their ultimates. But oh my, look at No-Ray get stun blocked there for so much damage.
Yeah, No-Ray continuously getting picked, that's a good recipe for when in Rome to get back into this game. If they can take out the Karthus separated from the fight, let the Death Defiled run on out and then take it as a 5 versus 4, it does a lot to alleviate some of these gold worries that they have for themselves. A lot of the gold lead is held up in this Karthus. They're a lot closer to being on even footing when they're fighting 5v4. Now just trying to get a little bit of poke damage in there. It is the full 5-man squad for both teams. My back is sore. Definitely hoping to get a steal here. If they can't get a 5v5, that looks very good for them, which should be very difficult. They go in for No-Ray, though. He's getting picked here once again. Gonna get sent to the Death Defied. My back is sore. Stuck up against the wall, though, from a very nice Anivia wall that is going to be going unstoppable is Esmond as he manages to take him on out. Mr. Ravencat is unkillable. 3 members standing there in that Glacial Storm from the Anivia, but it just doesn't matter. She's just 2 behind. Esmond snipes from over the wall to finish up an Eye of OBCD, and the gold lead is just insurmountable. Oblivion Esports running away with this fight, forcing back the remaining members of When in Rome, taking them off the map, and that is going to be Dragon Soul here, picked on up for Oblivion Esports before too long.
Oh my god, like you said, it definitely was a do-or-die fight there, and unfortunately it just wasn't enough, and oh my Celerox, you got caught out here by Mr. Ravencat, and they get the ace and the dragon, man. This is definitely not looking good for them to try to get this 2-0 that they need to have. But we do have some other things still. We still have Baron up. We still are going to have potentially a Elder Drake, which, again, can swing into that favor there for When in Rome that, hey, if they get that and they're able to poke down, which I think they can poke down pretty efficiently. They stay in that Glacial Storm there, get peppered down by a Y Rebellion, as well as, hey, if you get those Jinx Rockets out and do a lot of damage there, I think this could swing back into When in Rome's favor. But again, like I said earlier, it's just a big waiting game of trying to get there, hoping that they don't bleed out and lose a lot from this.
Yeah, absolutely here. It's very tough to play now from this position where that Dragon Soul goes over to the other side. They had a good fight. They set it up probably as best they could. Y Rebellion especially doing so much damage in that fight. Keeps the Glacial Storm down on top of so many targets. But just doesn't quite have the damage yet. You know, he's only on 2 items. They're not particularly high damage items either. Just the Archangels and the Everfrost, and just can't end up getting it on through. Can't end up taking anybody out, and so they lose the soul. It's a do or die situation, and when you can't do, you die.
Exactly, and you really don't want to be dying out of this one. Again, this is they need to win these two, and if they don't, it's unfortunately going to be over for them. So, yeah, I think they just kind of need to have some cool heads here, just calm down, try to set up some good plays and everything here. Understand that you see Princeton here, as much as this is a good idea, you have the Orin down here on the bot side, peppering down, trying to beat down this turret pretty quickly, and as much as White Rebellion's here, he ain't gonna do much to him. I mean, look at that. He had that Glacial Storm up on him, and like, it barely ticked him down.
Yeah, the upgraded Ornn items starting to come on through here. The Rime Forged Grasp is, I think, the name of the Ornn one, or the Iceborne Gauntlet one that Ornn has for himself already. As, yeah, he's, you know, that's just ballooning this gold lead even higher. You know, it looks like 9k, but really it's more like 10k, as there's a couple of Ornn upgrades that have already gone on through and made these champions even stronger.
Yeah, we do the Leandri's Lament now on the Karthus here, and No Ray, again, just going to be popping people pretty quick and easy. I think we're still at the 9. Nothing's really happened for him to get more. He gets that hat going for him as he's sitting on these 2 needlessly large rods. Yeah, it's going to be so good for him that, again, this team is just going to pop off so well. I mean, you already have the extra damage from the Infernal Soul here. It's really looking doom and gloom, but I think, hey, if you play this right, maybe not take this fight here, but we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely here. There's going to be the Baron started on up here for the side of Oblivion Esports. Will they be able to make something happen? As well, that's going to be a big one-shot coming in from Princeton onto Zelarox, as that's enough for them to be willing to get the fight started. They've already got such a big gold lead. They're willing to take it even farther. That's going to be No Ray with 1 Skittle, taking Eye of OBCD so low. It feels like he finished it with the ultimate, forces Eye of OBCD back on in, who's going to get slain by Princeton. 2 members down here for the side of When in Rome, as the wall finally going to collapse on through. And Oblivion Esports, they don't care about the Baron anymore. They're interested in the base. They've got 2 members dead. They can take the other 3 with ease, and they want to close on out game number 1 and slam the door on When in Rome's chances of making it to those play-ins.
I mean, this is a really great play that they did by them. They forced that fight that, again, I didn't think was potentially necessarily going to go into When in Rome's favor, just because of the fact that, hey, Ravencat.
Oh, taking a whole bunch of damage there. That's going to be the ultimate thrown on across by Esmond. Going to keep him alive, and it looks like the siege is going to be stopped. 2 inhibitors down, but that's all that they get. They can't quite close on out. The respawns have come on through, and now they're just going to return over to the Baron, try to bait themselves another fight. This time, they've got no Requiem, they've got no Dawning Shadow, they don't even have Call of the Forge God quite yet.
It might come up during the fight if it does happen here, but they really need to pick out people if that's going to be the case. Again, if they just get the wards, oh, my back is sore, taking the risk of going in and trying to get this. You have 4 here. I don't know if it's worth it.
Desperation Baron going to be the call, but they're going to get forced off of it, taking a little bit too much damage. Zelarox takes a whole bunch from Esmond, who's got to have so many souls at this point, so much range with that rapid fire cannon. Really, really tough to interact with him at all. He's just going to poke in onto you, chunk you for a good chunk of your HP. He's got the Wormfall and Sacrifice now as well to amp that damage even a little bit more. And now they're just going to be the ones to start on up the Baron, confident that When in Rome can't challenge them.
Exactly. He's sitting at 121 for his souls right now for Esmond. It's going to be sitting at 123 with those 2 picking up right now, but hasn't hit that quite soul point to get that extra life steal. But yeah, he's got the extra range, especially with the rapid fire. He's going to be able to poke and do a lot of damage. So I think this, again, was a smarter play. Unfortunately, yes, you delayed out the game that a little bit longer so they don't get that Baron sooner. But the inevitable is going to happen. They are going to get this Baron. And because of that, this is where they need to play very defensive right now. Try to hold out their base. Because if they do that, then this puts them in a potential case for this Eldritch that's coming up right now. This is definitely, they have to be something that they fight for, but Again, it's gonna be a tough one for them to try to get this.
Yeah, grouping up in this bottom lane Tribe Rush is the squad of Oblivion Esports, looking to maybe try to make a play happen here, but it is actually When in Rome coming through on the top side. They're going to try to start on up the Elder Dragon, but there's minions crashing into their base here. Oblivion Esports maybe starts to smell what could be going on here. They actually see it straight up. They've got a blue ward in that dragon pit. Call of the Forge God going to get thrown on through. Going to knock up onto Zillarox, and he just gets one shot from across the map by the Requiem plus the Dawning Shadow. Now a 5 versus 4 diving into the base there. Princeton going to be forcing off the side of IFOBCD, removing him from combat as F369 getting chased on down the rest of the way here. He's very tanky, but the range and the damage is just a little bit too high. Fighting over the Elder Dragon now as my back is sore, but he ends up going on down before it dies. It's going to get smited away by No Ray as there's 3 members now down from the side of When in Rome. Oblivion Esports have both epic buffs, and they should be on their way to closing this one out.
Yeah, it's just a little unfortunate there because they tried to collapse and do a lot of damage on there, but unfortunately you had Fire Rebellion leave, go back to base to clear it out, and it's just not.
Yeah, no, it's just a little bit too much. Not really interactive anymore at this point in the game. The numbers are a little bit too high. The dragon buff is a little bit too good, and they are going to, whenever they decide to, just bust on their way through this last Nexus turret. They're choosing to farm onto a few minions first and foremost. Zellerox gets 2 shot. Wire Rebellion trying to get the last bits of damage on the way through there, but that's going to be Mr. Ravencat playing the front line pretty effectively, going to be forcing back F369. He's going to melt down right in front of that Nexus, and that is going to be it for game number 1. The 10-30 on the scoreboard, and Oblivion Esports win game number 1 here, and Virtue Gaming, not Virtue Gaming, Predictive Gaming, Anubis are now the biggest fans of Oblivion Esports in this whole league.
Exactly. I mean, Oblivion came out with a really good comp here. Again, I know I was going to worry about a few things, but I mean, you had Esmond be deathless this game, putting out a lot of damage, setting up well for his team. You had No Ray doing very good Requiems, setting up for a lot of the fights. And Ravencat just showing, hey, I'm playing Orange. I'm the Mage Tank Assassin that can take you on very easy. Got the first blood, was able to kind of keep his lead going there, able to upgrade pretty much all the Orange items, unfortunately except for Bams, but still able to just do so much here. And yeah, like you said, Predictive's going to be big fans of them right now.
Yeah, no, Predictive Gaming Anubis is your last team into the play-ins. I mean, that's confirmed now. There's nothing that either of these squads can do about it anymore. Not even Predictive Gaming. They're in it whether they want to be or not, and I'm sure they do. So, and got to give a shout-out to Esmond and Bam as well. That bottom lane with the set on the Renekton, working out so well up against the fairly squishy bot lane that was put together by When in Rome. And a deathless game for Esmond there in particular, playing at the perfect range, constantly getting the damage on through, some sick Dawning Shadows to turn around fights across the map. Great play all around there, really led to some great success for Oblivion Esports.
Yeah, definitely some great success. I am really glad that Oblivion's doing this because now it makes me respect my pick a little bit better. But unfortunately, yeah, I definitely did want When in Rome to potentially, make the underdog come back and come in, but unfortunately not going to be the case here as they drop this game 1. But we still have another game coming up right now of this best of 3, so we will see you guys shortly as we set up for game 2.
Everybody panic! Hold on! I'm about to say something really cool. 3, 41, 9, and lift off! No one dies screaming without me. I feel like I forgot to shoot something. You're starting to bore me. She's such a loser, always ready to cry. Da-da-da-da. Aw, come on. What's the worst that could happen?
Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's broadcast of the Aegis Defenders League, where we have got When in Rome facing off up against Oblivion Esports for the second time tonight, this time without the stakes, as When in Rome unfortunately going to be eliminated from play-in's contention along with Oblivion here. So these guys, they're playing to see who is going to, get some bragging rights, who's going to be in 7th versus 8th. And so far, we're going to see the same picks and bans, so that Anivia ban being hovered in is going to be locked on in as these guys fight for a little bit of pride to close on out the split.
Yeah, I mean, the Anivia still performed pretty decently. The last game is just, actually didn't get the pop-off as much as we would have liked, just because they did get bullied out pretty well there. Oh, they salty. They had that Senna last game they went against. They're like, you know what? We're going to take it now.
All right, yeah, I want to try that for myself a little bit. Let me get my hands on that one, as I have OBCD, Zelarox, either one might be taking that one into the bottom lane, or maybe this is the solo lane Senna that we talked about in game number 1. I mean, if there's ever a time for it, it's here at the end of the split, with both teams already eliminated from contention. But Hecarim now being hovered by Oblivion. We're just going to run it back with each other's team comps. We're going to snag away all the picks that When in Rome played last game for Oblivion, and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, that actually would be probably the most exciting thing, is just take the cops from last game.
Other
than Nivea, okay, it's fine. They can throw in another flavor mid later. It's fine. It's fine.
Dream is dead. The Kaisa is locked on in. Maybe that, unless that's the replacement for the Anivia, the Dream is well and truly dead. As we're gonna see what When in Rome wants to go for here. This is the chance to lock in the Renekton if you do want to play that center Renekton. It might not be the reverse salty run back, but it could certainly be, or could be the Swain, as that's being hovered here. That'd be a spicy bot lane pick to pair on up with the Senna, especially when you're up against Kaisa, something a little bit lower range, can really try to, land a couple of those never moves onto him. And yeah, that is going to be locked on in. That is going to be the Swain selected to probably pair up with this Senna. I suppose the Swain could still go into a solo lane, but he's a little bit more of a bot laner these days.
I feel like he's more a bot laner too. I think he could be a really good carry from the aspect of either seeing it from, again, that support to ADC aspect in the bot lane. But again, he's someone that's going to try and farm up all those souls, able to stack as much as possible there, try and get as much pulls, and they have a really good setup with each other. Plus, you're picking up Diana, which again, I think that's a really good wombo combo type of style that they're going for there. That even though they are picking at Hecarim, they're able to still lock in Hecarim pretty easily between both the Swain and Diana there, with the follow-up of the Senna too. So I think this is going to be a really good comp.
All right, that is a missed pick. Let me take a glander over at our lobby stream. That's Leona. That's what Princeton says in the chat. So we're going to call that one Leona. Going to be paired up with the Kaisa in the bottom lane for sure. And the Diana going to be the lock-in the jungle for When in Rome.
Yeah, I mean, these are both good options here. We're going to see Yasuo is going to get banned out here against Y Rebellion. Man, they just don't like him. This game, they're like, we're going to take away 2 of your bids. We're going to add a 3rd one in there too. And you know what? Let's make it even more uncomfortable and probably just ban another one. I honestly could just see it.
Yeah, absolutely here. The Ornn getting hovered. Potentially going to be banned away. Mr. Ravencat had a pretty fantastic Ornn game in game number 1. Not surprised to see that F369 does not want to run it back up against that Ram God in the top lane. Yasuo makes a lot of sense as a ban. When you're facing off against that Diana, you definitely don't want to allow that combo to come on through. Now, we'll see what Oblivion wants to take off the board. The remainder of their picks, so it supports 80 carries and junglers for both sides, so presumably going to be all focused on the solo lanes here for this final series of bans. The Poppy going to join him here. That's an F369 classic.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to force him, as they're meeting here in the chat, to potentially play this Heimerdinger that he teased. And honestly, I would love that. Seeing a Heimer top, just one of those ones that you throw out your turrets, you put a lot of pressure, and you're able to just do so much with it that, it becomes a very unfun lane to play against. I have experienced it way too much as a player, so I definitely would not want to ever wish they had fought anyone in these games. But yeah, they banned the Orin, they banned the Syndra this time around. I wonder what Oblivion's gonna pick up this time.
Yeah, for sure.
Tom.
Here, the Tom Kench being hovered, going to be locked on in there. Going to be probably the top lane Tom Kench then for Mr. Ravencat. You got to believe this Leona is certainly going to be in that bottom lane along with the Kaisa. Reminder that that blank pick is indeed the Leona. That's been confirmed in the lobby chat. So the Tom Kench, almost certain to be in the top lane. That's going to be the blind pick for Mr. Ravencat. We'll see what F369 wants to take into it. His Mundo from last game is still available. We're really... Okay, alright. If that Yone was locked in, then Win and Rome really is messing with Oblivion here. And they did it! They swapped back to it! They're trolling! They're trolling the Oblivion Esports members. They're saying, we're going to take your picks, and we're going to play them up against you, and hopefully we're going to win this time.
Yeah, I mean, they even tease it too. Maybe that they'd go that Leo top with the lethal tempo. I mean, honestly, they could do that too. I would love the spiciness of that. As much as I know we're probably gonna see this top catch up there, but I am excited for this Aatrox. Ooh, this is gonna be a fun top lane.
F369 taking the Aatrox into the Tom Kench. It's not often that we see this man off of one of those like big beefy tanky frontliners. Aatrox, you know, playing kind of towing the line a little bit between that and one of the more carry centric ones. Gonna be an exciting pick to watch up against this Tom Kench though. Certainly can perform well in that lane with the range advantage the Darkened Blade going to give him. The Yone locked on in here. You know, Princeton is the Yone expert here, and he's gonna lock the Akali against it, saying, hey, you know what, screw any kind of traditional counter picks. We're going mono-y-mono, mechanical champ versus mechanical champ. I'm locking in that Akali.
Yeah, definitely gonna lock in that Akali. I mean, what I love about that too is it is one of those ones that you can really show yourself as a player, as like a playmaker, because you have that style of dancing around people, trying to just throw everything at them and burst them down. And it's what she's really good at. I think this is going to be one of those ones where maybe you outplay the Swain because Swain's trying to set up something and you're able just to kind of go in, throw that shriek in, put yourself back into them, and it really could punish them with that. So I would love to see that, but then the counter would be is you have good knockups from both, actually all three, Yone, Aatrox, and Diana there. So I would love to see how these team fights go.
Yeah, definitely some powerful dive and engage coming on through from the When in Rome squad here with that Yone-Diana combo. Can really simulate the Yasuo Diana a little bit there. You know, you can't get the guaranteed blink knockup that you do from the Yasuo, but you could still get them all grouped together for a really big fate sealed, and that's still definitely going to get you what you're looking for. Meanwhile, on the side of Oblivion Esports, they have got a little bit more traditional engage on their side as well. They've got themselves that Onslaught of Shadows, they've got themselves the Solar Flare from the Leona, and they've got two really short range but real mobile carries in this Kaisa and this Akali, going to be looking to dance around the fight, and as long as they can avoid, you know, getting locked down by something like that Diana ult, by something like that Yone, or by any of the Swain CC, then they are certainly going to be hoping to run down the remaining members of When in Rome if they can survive that initial engage.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see this. Again, this is going to be a really good fight just regardless, because you have both sides kind of having that little bit of movement between the Yone, Aatrox, and the Akali and Kaisa there. And Senna is very kind of gridlocked, kind of like the Swain, where you might see Diane go a little bit in more, try to get that moonfall onto them. And I definitely would love to see this. I mean, the meme dream of seeing a Leona top would be great, but unfortunately we're not going to probably see it here. I'm waiting for these first picks to come out. But yeah, I like a lot of what Omega's bringing out, or not Omega, Oblivion, jeez. We have rough days, can't, like, I'm sorry. It's
wrong Princeton team. That's okay, though. You know, you got, it's definitely an interesting composition from Oblivion here, though. I am excited to see, you know, they haven't gotten to play with Princeton all split long. He's been listed as their starter. Don't really have any insight into what's been going on behind the scenes for why that has been. They've been starting Can of Tin for most of the split. But now, here in their final week, playing just for fun, knowing they're already eliminated, they're going to bring him back on in. And in game number 1, they looked a lot better. And they still seem to be drafting competitively. You know, they're mostly picking meta selections. They're picking champions that they're comfortable on as well. But, you know, for instance, the kind of guy who wants to be playing these Yones, these Akalis in competitive. And so, you know, they really want to come out here. They want to win this one. They want to move themselves up to 2-5 total. Well, when in Rome, you know, they add a lot more to play for here. They also came out, you know, trying their best with a competitive composition. Didn't end up winning in game 1. But you can see they're still, you know, they're still out here. They're stealing away a couple of champions from Oblivion Esports. Maybe is a little bit of a nod to them. But they're certainly still going to be coming in here trying to get themselves up in the standings, even though they can't get themselves all the way into those playing stages.
It won't be in those playing stages, but I think that's okay. I mean, it's really a more practice for yourself to be like, hey, you know what? We did get, you know, unfortunately stomped out by this comp the last game, and now you have one of those things that it's going to be a really interesting one. I think that when Rome is picking, I think it's a much better, well-rounded comp compared to the last time, where you have to wonder, like, okay, Mundo, as much as I love him, isn't always necessarily the best. I feel like taking the top lane, you have plenty of other choices that could be that filter. Which is why, hey, we're seeing Aatrox this time around. We're gonna see again a couple picks, you know, coming out from Oblivion last time around onto When in Rome. So yeah, I love to see the performance of these, and I wonder, what? Are you seeing what I'm seeing here in this client draft right now?
Seeing F369 on the Yone and Y Rebellion on the Aatrox, so that would certainly be a spicy one. It's potential. There's a little bit of potential for them to swap it around. We're going to have to see once we get into the game. We've had a remake draft here, so we're going to throw it into a quick break while we get loaded onto the Rift, but we're going to be right back in just a few short minutes to see if Oblivion Esports are going to close out their season with a 2-0 win, or if When in Rome are going to keep the season going just a little bit longer. Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's broadcast of the Aegis Defenders League, where we are in our final week of the regular season, and when in Rome and Oblivion Esports, both having already been eliminated from play-in's contention, are fighting for the pride of not getting that 8th slot. You want to get 7th in your group. You want to be standing over the other team, not just in this one series, but in the whole, the standings when you look back on this season, and as you look towards getting ready for the next one. That's going to be a big 4-man snare coming through from IFOBCD.
Yeah, 4-man snare. Oh, God, that's just so good there. I love that. And I mean, you always want to have those really good timings, just trying to show, hey, this is why a champion like this is played. But interesting option that, again, they are choosing that the support is going to be playing the center this time around instead of the ADC, coming out here from When in Rome. But yeah, I like this option still for the bot lane. I'm really excited to see how it plays out into this Kaisa and Leona here.
Yeah, certainly here going to be a little bit of a bird start here for No Ray. Is going to be going for a little bit of an interesting path this time around. He goes birds and now is pathing up and around towards his golems, so going to try to avoid the ward that's been thrown down and appear as though he started on the top side. As that's first blood picked up in the bottom lane by Bam, finishes off on IFOBCD, and now chasing down Zellerox, trying to save Esmond, and will do so. Esmond has made enough of a distance away to be able to stay alive, and Oblivion Esports put themselves on the board first in the bottom lane once again. Same story as last game. This bottom lane has been so dominant tonight.
Yeah. They are doing really well right now. This is where, again, I kind of was surprised even Leo is able to still do a lot. But again, I guess the Swain is a little more squishier, even though isn't that level 2 where could have had that extra burst potentially coming out. Is just not going to be able to provide that damage early. And even though you had the good exhaust onto Esmond there, unfortunately just not able to stay alive. But still good trading coming out there between both of them. Oh no.
Yeah, definitely. That's going to be another binding landing onto Esmond here. He did miss out on a lot of XP while he was running away from Zellerox there. A couple of minions did end up dying, so it is going to be level 2 for Zellerox first and foremost. Princeton, though, finding a big all-in onto Y Rebellion there. Doesn't commit the flash, but forces Y Rebellions out. Princeton with the advantage of the mid lane.
Yeah, Princeton doing really well as Kali here, pushing out the Aatrox, no problem. I mean, you burn a flash too on all you really trade back as your Ignite. I think this is still really good for him. And now it sets up for an even better gank to potentially come out here from No Ray.
Yeah, absolutely here as No Ray moving towards that bottom side. It's pushed in by IFOBCD and Zellerox. Could be a great opportunity for this Hecarim to get rolling. My back is sore is in the area, trying to mark where that gank might come on through, and he does spot out No Ray. So IFOBCD and Zellerox, they're now aware of what is going on. Mr. Ravencat sees that as a little bit of an opportunity, is just getting himself, trying to find a little aggression there onto F369. As that Princeton takes a lot of damage there from my back.
Yeah, my bag. So still training really well. We're going to potentially get down here to No Ray. Oh, my.
All right, chunking him out pretty low here. My back is sore. Staying alive for the time being, getting good damage back into No Ray. No Ray staying alive for now, but there's going to be the shuriken flip back on in from Princeton. He can't finish it off, though. 2 kills for When in Rome there around the mid lane. Barely surviving with tiny little slivers of HP. The bottom lane is at it again, and Bam has gotten himself his 2nd kill, taking out Zellerox.
Yeah, Bam just doing really well. Unfortunately, not on a bigger carry this time around. He's on that Leona, but yeah, still locking people down, still getting himself ahead, getting this bot lane ahead to where they are having this better lead on them. Now, you're going to have Bam still be ahead on levels compared to Zellerox, and I have OPCD. So, yeah, this is going to be, again, a bot lane matchup. They're performing well. We have the wet noodle fight, of course, here in the top side, and waiting to see what happens. Ooh.
Big play there. F369 trying to be aggressive with the Soul Inbound. No Ray coming on in here, though. F369 going to be forced to flash there. to try to stay alive. That is going to be that summoner spell down. So off the back of a good trade, F369 does have to expend the summoner spell. And that is going to give Mr. Ravencat a little bit of control and a little bit of pressure relief in this top lane.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? He really needs that because of the fact that he is getting bullied out by F369 a lot. And you can even see it here in this mid lane. You would think that Princeton would be doing a lot more, and it's not going to be the case just because of the fact that Rebellion just can trade so much better right now.
Princeton going a little bit low there. Why Rebellion finding great angles with the Darkened Blade. Gets some good damage in there, forces Princeton back, and now can go and regroup with his team to pick up the first dragon. When in Rome, get themselves on the board early this time, as they are having a much better time than they were in game number 1. They are up a couple hundred gold, they are up a dragon, and both kills here for the side of Oblivion are on the support. Not exactly where you'd be hoping to funnel that money, so they're feeling pretty good about it. Ooh, that's going to be the flash, blown by Mr. Ravencat in the top lane. Now still going to have to take an unfortunate trade with F369. Chunked out pretty low, going to have to teleport back to lane sooner rather than later, as No Ray sees his attempted approach in the mid lane spotted on out. And Princeton getting engaged on by Y Rebellion, ticks over to level 6 though, looking for the perfect execution, flashes in, finishes him off. Gets the 1-for-1 though, as the turret's going to end Princeton's life and turn that into 3-3 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, this ties them up with that there again. It's a good trade. I mean, the only bad part is then you're now having an extra death on yourself there for Princeton. Even though he's getting that little bit extra gold back, you know, because of dealing with that slight lead you're having here coming out from Y Rebellion. But no, right, clear out these boards, trying to get some ganks going, and let's see what happens here.
Yeah, No Ray keeps trying to find opportunities here, but just keeps not quite finding them. F369's a little bit too far away, and now here comes my back is sore, trying to make a play happen. The knockup lands on Mr. Ravencat. That's going to be a two-man ultimate. Big turnaround here from my back is sore. Going to finish off the kill on a No Ray, and now is going to likely be able to finish off on a Mr. Ravencat too. Big double kill for the Diana, moving up to 3-0, and really starting to take control over this map.
Yeah, he's really doing so well. I mean, again, this is where my back is sore definitely is carrying this time around. So he's definitely feeling very sore as he's trying to put his kill participation up even further, more and more, as he's doing so much for his team right now.
Yeah, absolutely here. Big plays to be made here from the side of When in Rome. Getting themselves back in the conversation. They did not get to be competitive in game number 1, but in game number 2, they are really coming back here. I saw them promising in the lobby that they were going to completely dumpster Oblivion Esports now that they were eliminated from the running, and not complete by any means, but they certainly are looking a lot stronger in game number 2.
Yeah, something we would have potentially liked to see maybe the game 1, but you know, it kind of happens. It still was a decent comp that they picked. It's just with the fact that you had that Renekton just be able to bully them out so much in that bot lane, it just was so punishing there. And again, Ravencat just able to get that lead going. But he's eating young right now. Oh my.
Yeah, getting the full damage combo out in there, and that's a two-man solar flare in the bottom lane. Esmond finds his opportunity. It's been a little too quiet for a little too long in this bottom lane, and Esmond gonna take full advantage of the opportunity. Takes out onto Zelarox, gets himself his first kill of the lane, almost gets pulled under the tower by IVOBCD, but is gonna be able to escape and is gonna be able to stay alive as he gets bound again. This could be a kill for IVOBCD. Ooh, the Conqueror, though, not quite producing enough damage. This may go the... Oh, but the flash on in from IVOBCD to finish off onto Esmond. Huge play there with the Demonic Ascension. He could even finish off onto Bam here, too, chasing him down with the snare. Double kill to the Swain as this play turns in the favor of When in Rome as well. They're losing every lane now here for Oblivion Esports.
Yeah, I mean, this is where that comeback is that you could have with the Swain. Swain really excels himself once he has his ultimate, and when he's able to use that Demonic Ascension just to put in so much damage, so much sustain for himself too, and lock people down is really worth a nice dodge by F369. And ooh, this is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, sees a chance to go all in on a Mr. Ravencat here. Goes for the Soul Unbound. That's going to be the dash on out there, but he managed to land it. But taking turret shots, Mr. Ravencat finishes off that kills. Y Rebellion is engaging in the bottom lane, but the bot lane has returned to the play here. Princeton coming on down here from the mid lane, looking for a big flank angle. We'll see if No Ray wants to keep this fight going. He's got the ultimate. That's going to be an engage coming on through from my back. His sword. No Ray going to lose all of his HP right off the bat, but now Princeton is in on the backside. Big stun coming on through here as they're trying to finish off onto my back, but Esmond just goes so low, gets turned around on so easily, melts to the damage of this Diana, and that's going to be a triple kill going over to my back is sore. Princeton able to get himself one back, but that is a big win for when in Rome, as they're going to get themselves some turret plates in the bottom lane as well.
Yeah, some turret plates, you get 3 extra kills. I mean, this is still really worth it for them. You do have the Rift Herald too that you can be able to pop, so even more plate gold going for yourself over here. Most likely the turret too. Yeah, this is going to be really good for them. First turret going over to When in Rome. Hey, this is a whole different team that we're seeing right now compared to this game one.
Absolutely is, and it is a dominant team at that. Big plays coming on through from When in Rome. Just, my back is sore, completely popping off on this Diana here. Has so many kills for himself. Princeton doing pretty well in the mid lane, but all the damage that this Diana has, it just keeps snowballing on top of itself here. One-shotting so easily as Y Rebellion goes for the all-in here up against Princeton. No Ray is showing up to try to trade it on back, but it's F369 showing up in just the nick of time. Picks himself up the double kill. 2 more to the side of When in Rome, and just like that, Gigatron, they're 5k gold up.
Yeah, 5k gold up. I mean, this is insane from what they're doing right now. And yeah, it ain't that 7k that we saw yet from that first game, going over to Oblivion. But oh no, Esmond's getting caught. Oh, never mind, he didn't get caught up. I thought he was going to with that extra soul and the eyeball coming in onto him. But man, F369, I mean, he's still playing pretty well into Ravencat with that. Still being able to trade pretty well.
Oh, ends up on the wrong side of dodge, though. Not sure how he ended up over here. That's a big all-in for Mr. Ravencat, though. He's going to be able to finish this kill off, spits him out under the turret, and a big shutdown goes over the Tom Kench in the top lane. It's not out of this yet is Oblivion Esports. They are finding themselves opportunities to get back into this one. They're still down a whole boatload of gold, though.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they're down just from, again, the performance they had that last time around, but excuse me. I would definitely love to see more of this When in Rome right now. They are performing very well. You have the Deathless, my back is sore right now, carrying his team very well. You have a whole different bot lane, it feels like right now. They're doing so much more, especially now that they got this Senna and Swain combo going. And yeah, I'm really excited to see how everything goes, but look at those souls just getting stacked up there for Zelrox.
Zelrox definitely getting bigger, definitely getting more range here on that fasting Senna. But Mr. Ravencat going all into the top lane as well. Zelrox getting a good amount of poke damage there in the mid lane, at risk of getting engaged on, but playing at just the right range to keep himself safe. Mr. Ravencat not calming down in this top lane. He's losing some health, but he feels confident that the thick skin will regen him right back up.
Yeah, doing a quick soul check. We are at 36 souls right now for Zelrox, and we are at 21 Ravenous Flocks.
Ooh, alright. Big engage there from my back is sore. Gets the 2-man ultimate. Look at that damage there from the Moonfall. It's just insane, and nobody can deal with it. My back is sore. One more big Crescent Slash. Gonna pick up that kill. Bam! Off the map. And there's just no way to deal with this Diana now. You need to get a lot more damage, and you need to do it a lot faster.
Oh, yeah, you need... I mean, she's just so quick on the feet, just able to just burst people down, especially with the Moonfall coming up so quickly as it does. And, yeah, they really need to just stay ahead, and the only way they can stay ahead is by positioning themselves that a little bit better, because, like you said, she's just able to stick on them so easily, and this is a whole different team coming out of them right now. Stacks definitely coming up here for both. I have OBCD and Zelrox. Man, this is I'm really enjoying this one. I hate saying it, but I kind of wish that this was our game one.
Yeah, would have been would have had some higher stakes for the rest of the night, but still a great performance here from When in Rome thus far. They are really starting to run away with this game number 2. You know, a lot of gold in the Diana. My back is sore, of course, has to play responsibly with this. Doesn't want to give that big fat shutdown over to somebody like Esmond or somebody like Princeton. But, you know, as long as he can play responsibly, as long as he can keep his lead solid, they are in a great position to be able to continue to run away with this game. Soul Point spawning in a minute here. We'll see if the side of Oblivion Esports can find themselves a way to contest here, as Mr. Ravencat still looking for plays in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, Ravencat is definitely showing out why he's a really good top laner. I mean, he's able to, again, just play these tanks that perform very well. It's one of those things that, like, even with Tom right now, Tom is just such an annoying champ. Oh, no.
Alright, big engage on IFOBCD here. It is 4 versus 1. Princeton's got the burst damage coming on through here, but now into the Zonias is IFOBCD, and a big binding coming through for Princeton. He's got to try to escape here. He's got the perfect execution coming up here. Soon that's a 4-man ultimate from My Back is Sore. That damage is insane, and that's a quadra kill for the Diana, trying to turn it into a pentakill here. They're locking down Mr. Ravencat. They're trying to give it on over to him. He's getting lower and lower, and now he gets the Devour off. He's trying to turn this fight back around, but the pentakill comes through for My Back is Sore off the back of a crazy moonfall.
Oh my god, that moonfall was just chef's kiss right there. Just perfect. Able to lock down so many people. You get a Penta 2 off of that. Again, this is just showing why Diana really should get played more, honestly. I think people sleep on her a little bit, and she has definitely been just up and coming and rising and doing so well for teams. So I am enjoying this right now that My Back is Sore. Is definitely feeling very sore from this carry of the game right now.
His back should be sore. I mean, this is completely insane how much he's actually been doing in these team fights. If we had those damage charts that they had in the LCS, he would have like 90% damage in that last fight. Is why Rebellion is getting engaged on here. He's going to end up falling on down to Esmond. Oblivion Esports, they're trying to fight their way back in this. They are not out of it quite yet. They have lost themselves the 3rd dragon here, though, so definitely going to have to stage a fight in about 5 minutes to prevent the soul from going on over to the side of When in Rome.
Doing the Abyssal Voyage there, hoping maybe something can happen, but nah, he's just going to be able to
collapse, though.
Maybe not away.
Coming in around here, going to manage to land that stun. Here's the full squad coming on in here. No Ray going to be able to finish off that kill on F369. IFOBCD is looking in the Demonic Ascension here to maybe try to find a little pick there onto a squishy Bam, onto a very low HP Bam, but not going to be able to do so. 2 kills, going over to Oblivion Esports. They're keeping it close-ish in the kills, but 10k gold down. Oh, wow, When in Rome sure have the wallets to try to win this game.
Yeah, it's such a very good game for them to win. This is so much of a swing that they have right now that they're going to dominate. I mean, even if you lose, like, Y Rebellion or F369 or any of them, like, it still is just so good for them that they're able to still win these different fights. But, again, we see My Back is Sore as deathless right now, able to, again, kind of just captivate this game. He's really taking these team fights very well. And oh no, Y Rebellion.
No Ray finds a nice little engage here onto the Aatrox. Addition, the damage going to be getting the lockdown here from the team as well. Esmond dives on forward. Princeton finishes off that kill. That's now 3 picks in a row. Going over to the side of Oblivion Esports as they got plenty of turrets now, but they're still finding opportunities in their own jungle to punish the over-aggression of When in Rome. Oh, Mr. Ravencat. Oh, this is going to be a lot of damage coming on through from that Diana. He goes into the Grey Health right away. He also devours that Diana on up, spits it back into the team. They want the big shutdown. The Moonfall comes on through. He goes into the stasis. He's staying alive. Will this be the opportunity to give the gold over to a carry? And they do. Princeton finishes off the shutdown and is able to try to turn it into more, but he's not going to be able to do it. Triple kill going over to IFOBCD. He's trying to turn it into a quadra. Bam goes on down. Princeton, though, definitely not going to be one to give over the penta here. He is getting chased on down, but he is so far ahead of the curve. He's running back out of the base. He's walking forward, though. He wants to take the fight. He's willing to potentially give over the penta, and he does. 2 pentakills this game to 2 different members of When in Rome. The shutdown goes over to Princeton, but the pride sits with IFOBCD.
Oh my god, this pride is so good right now for him. He's just so happy that he could get a penalty kill. Now, here's the goal. do we get another pentakill on another player from When in Rome this game? I mean, this is just crazy. Not only one, two pentakills, two different champions doing it. Can we get a third?
19 of their 23 kills are spread among these two champions, so it's gonna be real. It's gonna be a real uphill battle to get a pentakill as a 2-kill Yone or a 2-kill Aatrox. That doesn't mean it's impossible though. Really, the hardest part probably isn't. No, right? Just chilling up here.
Yeah,
my man's in the game. All right, here we go. He's gonna wake up. He's gonna back out away. It's Now, the toughest part about getting a penta on one of these other champions at this point, honestly, is going to be out-damaging Diana and Swain enough to actually be able to finish off those kills. They do so much now that it's like, how are you ever actually going to end up last-hitting kills when the other members of your team do so much damage? F369, getting engaged on here, he's got the soul unbound, so they can just wait around here by the ghost for him to blink on back. And this should be another one going on over there. A nice two-man ulti, but not going to be enough to save them. No Ray picks up that kill. But that's a jungler on the bot side of the map with the Baron up, and that should be a Baron for the side of When in Rome. Ooh, attempting a pick onto Zellerox, though. They get to slow off the Solar Flare. He will be able to sneak on away without being caught on out, and that is going to be Baron for the side of When in Rome as they move their gold lead up to over 11k.
Yeah, even with some of these kills happening on their team, they're still just having this really good, tremendous gold lead, but Gage going in a BAM right now.
Yeah, Bam likely going to end up going on down here, but that's a teleport being channeled by Mr. Ravencat. They're willing to take this fight. There goes the Onslaught of Shadows into the backline. Doesn't get the fear onto too many targets, though. Is on top of Zellerox, but Zellerox is more than tanky enough to be able to survive this. Ivo BCD falls on low. Princeton can't close the gap with a perfect execution. Double kill going over to Ivo BCD. Triple kill to Ivo BCD, and that is going to be 3 or 4 even members down for Oblivion Esports, and When in Rome are just continuing the domination.
Yeah, this domination is coming through very clean from them. I feel like they're just doing so well in these team fights that if you have, I have OBCD as well as my Backusaur around, they are just setting up such good plays for their team. They're getting great kills. Unfortunately, we don't see the Quadra or the Penta come out there again for OBCD, but they will see something potentially soon.
Very well might. No Ray. Coming on out to try to chase off a couple of members. This is mid inhibitor has been torn on down. The bot in top inner is going to fall as well. An inhibitor down in the mid lane going to mean those super minions are going to be flowing on in constantly. Going to make it very difficult to get back out onto the map. Dragon Soul picked on up as well. Going to make this side of When in Rome even stronger. The options are really starting to disappear for Oblivion Esports here. They had a couple of good fight backs in the mid game, but they've just continued to fall farther and farther behind, and now the gold lead is just crazy.
And the gold lead is just crazy high right now for When in Rome. I mean, this is a team, like, especially with this, I would love to see a lot more from them, I think, throughout the season, and now we're seeing it, I think, just a little too late, as this team has definitely been growing into themselves that little bit more, and now this is where, again, they're going to be able to potentially take this top side here of the base, probably with no problem with this Baron. Oh,
Lockdown coming on through here. There's the engage opportunity. Onslaught of Shadows into the backline. Zellerox going to be the first one to fall on down. Ivo BCD sustaining through a lot of this, though. Esmond just can't dish out the damage. Flashes into the Vision of Empire. That's going to be the burn damage coming on through for Ivo BCD. Finishes off that triple kill pretty easily. Going to try to turn it into a quadra here. Will be able to do it. The Penta got stolen way back at the beginning of the fight. But I have OBCD really padding those stats, going up to 14 kills total, and this should be the end of the game here for When in Rome. They want to keep their season going as long as they possibly can, and that means we are going to be going to a Game 3 here tonight, Gigatron.
Game 3, I am loving this. Again, this is just a whole different team here, a whole different playthrough with When in Rome. I am super excited with this, so yeah, they had a very captivating game. You had the Swain just get ahead so well there. My back is sore. Definitely sore from that game, from carrying way too much there. Me definitely feeling sore, I think, more because I'm getting older than being a carry in this game. But yeah, this has definitely just been one of these games that, as much as we would have liked to have maybe seen a 2-0 come out from Oblivion, I am definitely enjoying the series so far that we're going to see a game three.
Yeah, banger game to come back from my back is sore on IOBCD in particular, especially IOBCD, who was set behind in the early game there, but came back out with this Swain pick later on in the game, who was able to be such a huge menace, gets himself the pentakill, gets himself 14 kills total, and helps carry through when in Rome to victory there. Oblivion Esports clearly having a little fun with it, definitely willing to fight at every possible opportunity when in Rome in that same camp here. You know, this wasn't a really macro focused game. There were a whole lot of team fights to be had that everybody was very willing to opt into. But you know, great plays for when in Rome there. They end up coming out on top and now are going to bring us to this game 3 tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they came out guns blazing. They said they were going to smash them. And this definitely feels like a big smash coming out from them. So I am excited for this game three. So as we wait to set up this game three, we will see you guys shortly.
Everybody, panic! Hold on! I'm about to say something really cool. 3, 41, 9, and lift off! No one dies screaming without me. I feel like I forgot to shoot something. You're starting to bore me. She's such a loser. Always ready to cry. Ah, come on. What's the worst that could happen?
Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's broadcast to the Aegis Defenders League, where Oblivion Esports are going to take to the blue side for the first time tonight, as when in Rome have forced this one to a game 3 to determine who is going to end up last in the league and who is going to be on top of them. Oblivion Esports had a great game, number 1, to knock When in Rome out of play in contention, but When in Rome strike back in game 2, try to fight for their pride a little bit here.
Yeah, definitely fighting for pride. I definitely love this game too. They had two pennants come out from two different champions. I mean, that's just insane. I mean, it's like almost like insanity should be watching these games, but instead we have Blaze Olive. So you know what? I appreciate that an LCS player is watching his friends play, man. So this is definitely awesome. But we see this game 3. Solar Band's pretty much still around.
Yeah, for sure here. Kha'Zix and Vi are going to get banned away on the blue side. Going to be Victor and Nautilus joining them on the red. Trying to pinch the pools here of Oblivion Esports a little bit farther. That Anivia ban going to remain from game number 2. And a solid Anivia game for themselves in game number 1. Did the side of When in Rome, Why Rebellion busted that one out. Didn't end up coming away with the win, but still played it well nonetheless. And that's resulted in a couple more bans going its way for the rest of the game. Tristana ban remaining for the side of When in Rome, as well as Oblivion Esports with the first pick of the draft for the first time tonight. We will see what they end up selecting here. The Senna, been a contested pick thus far, led to some interesting bottom lanes. We'll see if it gets locked in here again.
Oh no, but it's a first pick Zeri. Oh my. As much as she's been nerfed, she still provides a lot of damage right now, and I think she's more balanced. So I like this as a pickup for Oblivion there, but we are going to see the Senna Diana come out immediately from When in Rome. Oh my.
Yeah, all right. So the Senna, they're definitely not letting go of it over on When in Rome. This wasn't just a steal away from Oblivion Esports. They definitely feel like, you know, hey, we performed really well in this champion in game number 2. We're going to run it back once again. And they're going to run it back on the Diana as well, which was bananas for my Soar in game number 2. Had a crazy pop-off performance there. Was one of those pentakills that we talked about. And now running it back here feels pretty good. We'll see if that Swain gets locked in again as well. Did work out pretty well for them. This time it will be up against the Zeri instead of the Kaisa. But feels like it should be the same philosophy to some degree. You know, it's a slightly shorter range, mobile, 80 carry. The Swain should be pretty effective in this situation as well, I would think, as the Leona going to be the duo for it as well.
Yeah, the Leona with the Zeri is going to be really well. Lee Sin being able to get on top of people very easily, able to kind of get those kicks in where he can position himself to pretty much have some fun plays of just word hopping around, just doing as much as he can. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one coming out from them. We do see a Seraphine hover right now. Yeah, they're going to lock it right.
Seems like that one's coming on through. Nope, they swap it to the Swain. They're running it back. This is from When in Rome. The same picks, not in the same order, but you know, what can you do about it? It is still the same first rotation here of the Son of the Swain and the Diana, and now going to be banning away targets in this second phase. Taking that into the Zeri Leona, they were very happy with how that ended up going last game. They're going to hope to repeat that performance here. Now, solo laners likely going to be on the menu for these Phase 2 bans. The Ornn going to be the first one there from When in Rome. Definitely not wanting to give that one back over to Mr. Ravencat.
Yeah, definitely not wanting to have him have that. He performed way too well there that first game. And yeah, I am definitely understanding why the Major Tank Assassin is not going to be played the rest of the series. So I think that's a good job by them to make sure they keep banning it out.
Yeah, for sure here. And then we'll see the Yasuo again. So this was Syndra and then Poppy were the final 2 bans in game number 2. Opposite sides now, but would not be surprised to see those ones coming on through once again. It was the determination last game that, hey, we don't know what solo laners they're going to select. These are the ones we want to take off the board. The Syndra ban is repeated, and now I expect to see Poppy to round it on out, especially now that they've selected the Lee Sin for themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Maverick Jax. Oh, they banned out Jax. Interesting.
All right, okay. They are going to punch away that Jax. That is going to be F369 then. Having access to his Poppy if he wants, and this is a good position to take it. Hovering the Malphite instead, though, will also, serve as a big, powerful frontliner there. They know that there's at least two AD champions on the other side in the form of this Zeri and this Lee Sin, and would be some great wombo combo potential with that Diana if they were able to lock it in for themselves. Swapping over to the Scion, going to be another big tanky frontliner, and it looks like that is going to be the lock in here. That's their blind top lane choice. They know that, hey, even if he gets taken down a little bit early on, can still farm in the zombie form, can still be powerful late game as that front line.
Yeah, definitely will not be as a good front line with that. But I still look at like Zion's still very good. I mean, whether you choose which option of going that lethality with prowlers or again going that frostfire into the hull breaker, kind of combo that again just really performs very well. Again, you're still able to still knock down turrets pretty easy, especially with your unstoppable onslaught. So I think that's where it's gonna be really good for them to kind of see things go. But we are gonna see if Fiora be picked up there from Oblivion. I don't know if you hate her as much as I do, but that's probably the one champion. If I could remove the game, I could remove Fiora.
Wouldn't be my choice, but I definitely there's some shared distaste for the Fiora in there. Shout out to Virtue Gaming Live there with the raid coming on through. Welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Aegis Defenders League. We are here for Game 3 of Oblivion Esports facing off against When in Rome. Oblivion winning game number 1, When in Rome striking back in game number 2, and now the Cassiopeia going to round out this lock-in here, going to try to shut down some of that Diana engage potential that was so powerful for When in Rome, and my back is sore in game number 2. The Akshan now looking to round out this draft for When in Rome.
Yeah, Akshan I think is a really good pickup. It's one of those ones that can definitely get around with really good movement. The only thing I have to worry about is the Miasma coming out where he could get grounded and now he's not able to get around as easily as we would like with that. So I guess the question is, do you feel that this is an Akshan middle or is this an Akshan top now because of that? I mean, I know we have a Scion, but do you think that they would try to flex it and take it out of that mid lane because you are going into that Cassiopeia?
Yeah, I mean, it was really interesting to see F369 take the Yone towards the top lane last game and move that Aatrox towards the mid for Y Rebellion. I don't know if they would repeat it with Scion and Akshan here. It is tough to play the Akshan up against this Cassiopeia, but it's not impossible. You could always still farm with your Avengerang, look around for your roam opportunities that are so good with that going rogue ability. And Scion as well, not going to have a much better time up against that Cassiopeia either. So, gonna be a tough matchup either way, whoever ends up going up against the Snake Lady. But, when in Rome, they've surprised us in draft already this series. They could certainly do so again.
They certainly can. And this is where I would love to see how everything lands out for When in Rome. I mean, they had a very captivating game too, and would have liked to have seen it be the game once. So then we have this train maybe going of maybe they get in, but yeah, this was definitely for pride and making sure that hey, you know what, we definitely beat Oblivion here. And yeah, again, this is an interesting compound of Oblivion. It's very AD heavy. I mean, you have the Cassiopeia, but your main carries, are 2-1 for AD and AP right now, so I don't know. You see that also from When in Rome too. They got a lot of AD coming out of them, so I don't know.
I mean, not a lot of true frontline coming on through for the side of Oblivion, but for When in Rome, for sure, this Scion going to have an opportunity to maybe itemize a little bit more towards the AD, and then they only really have to worry about the Cassiopeia. Really interested to be watching this Diana once again. My back is sore. Ran away with the game in game number 2 there with this Diana. The Swain for I have OBCD also. Both of them getting pentakills in game number 2. Now, running it back in game number 3, it's hard to take your eyes off these guys. They're going to be so powerful if they're able to get ahead early once again, the way that they were in game number 2. And, want to see what Oblivion Esports' plan is here to try to shut that kind of approach down and to avoid getting that runaway result that we saw in game number 2.
Exactly. I think they're just trying to make sure, hey, you know what? we don't need to be gapped super hard with gold there. I mean, they had a really good gap in the game one, but game two, when in Rome, just came out blazing as much as possible there. So, but this is where I am interested to see how this one plays out. I mean, again, yeah, had both really good games here from both teams, and I'm excited to see who comes up on top.
I definitely am as well here. We're going to throw it to a quick break while we get loaded into the game for game number 3, but don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back as Oblivion Esports and When in Rome take each other on for the last time this split. Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's broadcast of the Aegis Defenders League, where Oblivion, Esports, and When in Rome are going at it for one more final time this season. Oblivion Esports on the blue for the first time this evening is going to be bringing out some interesting picks here. They've got themselves the Cassiopeia, they've got themselves the Fiora. Meanwhile, over on the side of When in Rome, they are running it back with the Diana, running it back with the Swain. This time they're going to run the Scion and the Akshan, and you called it there, Gigatron. It is going to be the Akshan in the top lane, the Scion in the mid lane.
Yeah, I feel like it's just a better time for him because, again, you're going to rely on swing eventually. And as much as my backstory is getting some really good poke out there, you just have to realize that, yeah, if you kind of run out of a kit item that just really is kind of good for yourself there, it really hurts yourself. The one thing is he has to worry about his riposte coming out from Raven Cat, but that's okay. Like riposte isn't up that long. Yasuo's up a lot longer, and now you're grounded, and then you're like freaking out because you're gonna try to flash and all that, and oh.
All right, F369 finding a little angle on a Princeton here. He lands the big hook shot, trying to close the gap there, but maybe making it a little bit too big as he ends up running into the wall instead of closing a little bit of that gap up against the Cassiopeia. Still, gonna be happy with how that trade went out early on, and the lane swap for Mr. Ravencat and Princeton gonna come on through here to try to match and get those matchups that they were looking for in the first place.
Yeah, I think that's actually perfectly smart and fine with them that they're switching out. It still gives a good advantage that they want, but yeah,
big play by F369 here. Gets the big angle there. Gets the it's the big what's that tool he used to draw circles? A protract? No, it's a compass. It's a compass. You use in math class to draw yourself some circles. And that's kind of what playing Akshan is like. You got to get your you got to set your wire in such a position where you get a big swing around there. As Zellerok's going to get jumped on here by the side of No Ray. No Ray going to flash on forward, going to be able to pick up that first blood. Esmond now jumping over the wall, going over to the other side. My back is sore. He's here, but he's down on numbers. Ivo BCD lands a big two-man snare, gets some good trades on a No Ray there, but my back just can't find a good angle on in there. Sees that No Ray is low though. He wants to keep it going, and he might see an opportunity. Big snare once again. IFOBCD on the Swain is just unstoppable here. It's the 2 stars of the last game, keeping the play going, getting themselves 2 kills back, and IFOBCD coming out ahead on this trade with Esmond. He lands another snare, just cannot miss a single one, but maybe didn't even want to land that one as Esmond is trying to turn the play back around. Zellerox has arrived, but he's just at level 1. Meanwhile, in the top lane, they're still fighting it out as well. This game is wild already, but the Diana and the Swain, the stars of game number 2, already on the board 3 minutes in.
Yeah, man, it's like we're almost in the Wild West. Princeton.
Oh, Princeton's dead.
Jesus. I mean, this guy is just showing why, even in that matchup early on, he's still going to be strong in the Akshan there. And I love this. He's coming out balls to the wall. I mean, we already saw in the bot lane just the craziness of IFOBCD just performing very well in this lane, landing all of those roots, just being able to just bind people down, and I love it. He's just performing so well in this game again.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Here's Zellerox coming into the early Senna roam, gets the snare there onto Mr. Ravencat's Fiora. He's pretty low though, and he's taking a lot of damage from the minions. Why Rebellion coming on forward, gonna keep trying to land those shouts, trying to trace on down the Fiora. Not gonna be able to do it. Bam, coming on up here just to run a little bit of backup, but crazy early roam from Zellerox there on the Senna. Almost works out, but not quite.
It's just a little unfortunate that you can't get that a little bit extra slow up sooner on the Ravencat. If you got it, I feel like you could have just peppered her down with those auto attacks from Zellerox. But yeah, I think it's a good roam that they have there, because then this means like, hey, you know what? Now we're trying to get our EDCs a little bit ahead with that solo XP. We're trying to put ourselves around the map and do so much, and unfortunately, just didn't go in the favor of them.
Yeah, Absolutely. Here, no Ray
Uh-oh.
hanging out in this top lane for a long time.
Oh, no.
Finally getting his chance on F369, who still manages to swing away, avoids the miasma, gets back under the turret, getting a good trade back on in. My back is now arriving in the lane. Bam is here as well, but everybody's so low that my back feels comfortable going in for the Lunar Rush forward. Not going to manage to find any targets, not going to get onto the very low Princeton, but still going to be 2 members of the top lane versus 3. A little bit of a tempo advantage there for the side of When in Rome. They got more members around the map doing more things while this failed gank at the top takes place for Oblivion.
Yeah, but a gank coming back again, though.
All right, Princeton at risk of going on down here. He's going to trade 1-for-1 with F369. Doesn't end up even giving over the assist, so it's a pretty straight trade there. And F369 going to put himself up even farther in gold. He can get over to some crucial item spikes that'll be pretty good for him. As he respawns out, gets double swords, looking to turn that one into the Noon Quiver. Now going to return back to that top lane and really keeping the pressure on to Princeton as he lost a big wave that crashed into that top lane.
Yeah, he did lose a big wave, and it is at least still getting some XP towards Bam, but Esmond.
Oh, Zelarox getting collapsed on there. Esmond jumps over the wall, shows up, says hello, and bursts him down. Gonna be a kill going over to the bot lane of Oblivion Esports. Esmond, such a big part of their win earlier on in game number 1. Had an early lead in game number 2, ended up giving it away. Now back in the lead once again here in game number 3.
Yeah, I mean, this is where a big change around. Oh, no Ray.
No Ray coming on through here. Gonna get hit up by that slow. Going to take a bunch of damage. Why Rebellion flashes over the wall, uses the Soul Furnace, picks up the kill. And now going to be getting himself on the board for the first time in this game. No Ray, once again, struggling to get things started here in this matchup up against the Diana. Gotten a kill earlier on, but now is taken down once again here. And is going to be given control over this bottom side. To the side of my back is Sore. He's going to try to get himself this dragon. Mr. Ravencat going for the all-in here. Throws down the Grand Challenge. Is going to fully break it up. That's going to be F369 channeling to come up. It's turning the fight around. Winning the one-on-one. And a stolen dragon there from Bam. Are you serious? My back is sore. Ends up missing the smite there. Gives it over to the enemy's support. Loses his life for it as well. I have OBCD looking for the fight here. Why Rebellion wanders on through. Just walks into his own jungle as I have OBCD falls on down, and this is chaos in the bottom lane, Gigatron.
Yeah, this is
jumping over the wall. Zelarox is still only level 3. He's 3 levels down against this Zeri, but the turret will keep him safe. As that's going to be the ultimate channeled. Why Rebellion's not done. He's looking to keep the play going. Chasing forward onto Esmond. Not going to be able to get there, though. It is going to be the disengage here. Just a couple more cooldowns thrown in there for good measure. As Nore, of course, is showing up here to my Bacchosaur's red buff, trying to take the fight here. Wasn't able to land that Sonic Wave, but kiting around the red buff here. My back is going to be able to pick it on up, but the burst damage from the Lee Sin is just a little bit too high. Nore gonna finish off that kill.
And it's been a crazy couple fights here. I mean, it's just, you watch F369 just take out Ravencat. You watch Botside just get demolished, I feel like, here, just because you have another kill go on to Zelarox. And then you have Esmond just still performing very well. You have a team that's been set up here, and then you lose the Drake to the support. The support, come on! Like, what's going on there? Just, I don't know if he smited earlier or not, but still, just the fact that, again, that gets stolen away is just crazy to think of. But, again, puts this a little bit more perspective for themselves. Hey, we need to respect when we take objectives, make sure we're having people here so we can bully out the other people that do try to come in, so this way they can secure these a little bit more, a little bit easier.
Yeah, for certain here. F369 back in the top lane has had some fancy one-on-one kills so far this game. Is up to a pretty solid lead for himself at 3-1. Now finally laning up against his intended top lane opponent in the form of that Fiora. Princeton getting kind of shoved out of lane here in the one-on-one up against the Akshan. You know, this was their pick into it, as that's going to be the lockdown. Once again, coming through out of Zellerox. He is not going to be super long for this world. That's a big stun coming on through from Bam onto IVOBCD, and finally they're going to be able to finish off onto this Senna, but IVOBCD trying to stand strong here in the Demonic Ascension, but Bam has the CC coming back up soon. There's going to be the Zenith Blade coming on through. He manages to land the stun onto Esmond, but it's just not enough. Esmond goes unstoppable, gets the burst fire one more time on through.
Yeah, Lightning Crash always really good ult.
Alright, F369 throws out the comeuppance, chases off Mr. Ravencat, still wants more, but the disengage is completed, and we do have a little bit of calm finally.
Finally, the calm before the storm, as we have the engage coming in with onto No Ray.
Yeah, there's the storm right as I start drinking my water. That's going to be my back is sore. Diving on forward, trying to get onto No Ray. No Ray going to be able to escape. They hide back out under the turret. F369's picking up plates. Once again, no more plays. We're done. We're done for now. Although Princeton is at risk here. If he steps up a little bit farther, he gets hit by the Crescent Slash, steps forward, my back goes on in, doesn't land the Moonfall, but here's the ultimate from Y Rebellion, getting the lockdown, giving the kill over to the Diana, and they lock down out of Princeton, and they shut him down once again.
And unstoppable onslaught, just hitting very easy there. Unfortunately, Moonfall doesn't crash down and lock her in, but that's okay. No matter what, you guys still got the kill there, and I've been able to kind of keep that calm going. Let the man, regain his voice back a little bit as he's trying to sip on that water. But, man, I am loving this game so far. It just feels like it's super close. It's going back and forth, and we get a TP from Princeton.
Just coming back to lane, trying to pick up this big fat wave that's been sitting there. Bam is trying to lock down on F369 in the top lane. Has Mr. Ravencat coming in for the backup. Is going to get the lockdown there. Gets a good amount of damage. That's not a very long heroic swing there. And it is going to lock on down F369. Mr. Ravencat picks up that kill, but now there's a fight breaking out on the bottom lane. My back is sore in a little bit too far. Going to end up going over to Desmond, who is dominating on this Zeri. 6-0. Triforce already completed. This is looking like some Zeri gaming here, Gigatron. Going to be very tough to lock this one down for the side of When in Rome. And he's doing so much damage.
Exactly. I mean, when he's doing so much, a nice little fake out from Nore.
Yeah, throws on down the Demonic Ascension, but not going to really have anybody to be sucking up with it. Instead, going to just fight on off against this Rift Herald. It doesn't look like it's going to get to crash, so you can call that a win for the side of When in Rome. They get a couple of souls out of that one as well as No Ray looking to invade onto My Back. My Back is willing to take the fight this time. Feels like it's in his favor. We'll see if he's correct. He throws on down the ultimate, guarantees the Vision of Empire is going to land. IVOBCD flashes on in and manages to finish off that kill. No Ray taking on down there, and that's going to be the end of the fight as the remaining members of Oblivion Esports are forced to back away.
Definitely forced to back away there. Excuse me. I think it is really good that he's trying to invade, trying to set himself up that little bit better, but it's the overcommit that kind of comes in where you don't have the backup of your team and everything. Bam's still waiting the wings here, might steal it, but actually not going to be the case. Looks like they are going to have the second Drake go over to When in Rome here. F39.
369 going to have to swing away there with the heroic swing, gets himself out of dodge. Esmond hovering right up against this wall here, ready to jump over it at a moment's notice. The recall does complete for IVOBCD. He gets to return to base, finish off his Leandries. Still no items completed for F369, so hasn't quite spiked here on being able to finish off that shield bow. But Y Rebellion and My Back is sore now collapsing here onto No Ray. No Ray looking in to try to make the steal happen, but Y Rebellion was waiting around on the other side the whole time. Gets the big decimating smash on through, but that's a big miasma. Followed up with the stun. The comeuppance isn't enough to finish off the kill onto No Ray. F369 face plants into the wall, and that's going to be the unstoppable onslaught coming on through. Trying to lock down here onto Princeton. He can't move anywhere left, and he is going to end up going on down there to that ignite as well as the shots coming on through from F369. He gets the reset on his heroic swing, dives away. Mr. Ravencat trying to get a little bit deeper on in there. That's a good two-man moonfall there from My Back is sore. F369 finishes up the kill on a Bam, and now they're looking to chase farther onto Mr. Ravencat, but he's just gotten a little bit too far away, although he's leading them right to No Ray, who might have to give up on this Gromp as My Back is sore is showing on up. The snare gonna go on through onto No Ray, but he's regened a whole bunch there from finishing off that Gromp. Looks like he will be able to escape as the teammates siege in the mid lane.
Yeah, teammates are definitely trying to siege as much as possible, but just so close there to try to maybe get something going on to No Ray. But At 369, just able to still captivate this top lane, even though, again, it still wasn't into the best matchup in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely here. F369 finishes off the first turret, gets himself that gold, and on top of the kill he got earlier, certainly he's going to be ready to finish off his mythic now. The grouping around the dragon, not going to spawn for about 3 minutes, so still plenty of time here to go, but instead they might want to get themselves some of this bot side jungle, want to get themselves onto this bot lane turret. Why Rebellion is showing up to defend it here, but he could be at risk of getting dove. He is pretty tanky and tough to dive, but this is a 3-man squad, and Esmond is very, very strong.
He is very strong right now, and I think they really need to worry about him just because he's at 6-0-1. He's got his Triforce already, had it very early on too, and has been had this whole time. So it's definitely a scary thing to think about, because once that lightning crash comes in, she's able just gonna ramp up, just keep peppering and hitting people down, and it's gonna be one of those team fights you just don't want to have to go through.
Yeah, definitely is going to be in that territory here, as Zeri, strong scaling champion, is certainly skyrocketed ahead in terms of her scaling with those 6 kills she's gotten early on. Why Rebellion taking a little bit of abuse there from Princeton, but he's tanky enough that he can shrug it on off. So it looks like a fight might be breaking out here in the mid lane. Bam and No Ray clearing out the vision, setting up for this siege, but it could be why Rebellion looking to channel the ultimate in my back. Could look for the big moonfall here. Dives forward onto Esmond, who is exhausted, not going to be able to get away here. Gets locked down by the moonfall, and that's a big shutdown going over to the side of I have OBCD. Now it's going to be Bam getting chased on down my back. Uses the Proto Belt to collapse the rest of the way. Should have that Lunar Rush available soon. Wants to make sure that he's not going to be able to escape with this blast cone, but he does manage to do just that. F369 off the back of his team winning this fight is comfortable to start on up with that Rift Herald, and it is When in Rome coming out ahead on that play.
Just coming in clutch here for themselves. They're able probably to get this turret here as well too, and now again they're just able to get so much for themselves. Unfortunately, they have to get peeled off of the Rift Herald here, but gonna be a fight coming up, I'm feeling here. Oh, Binding goes a little wide.
Trying to set up for a little bit of something here, but they can't quite get it. Now, it's the major objective left on the map is that Rift Herald. We'll see if anybody's going to try to start it up. It looks like it's going to be recalls from both sides. 45 seconds to go on the Dragon. Means that both of these squads want to start moving in that direction. My back is sore, well ahead of the curve here, looking for a potential opportunity to assassinate on a Princeton, but has to be very careful about the petrifying gaze.
Definitely has to worry about that. Petrifying Gaze still very good, able to lock down people, or gets it slow off that. It's enough where you can definitely collapse in on people. You just really still have to suffer it. As I will always say, pain is existence, and existence is pain. So, but right now, Ravencat's getting chased out right now by it. 369.
Yeah, a little bit of pain going back and forth here in the top lane as Mr. Ravencat going to get locked on down. F369 has the help of his shield bow. That big shield doing plenty there along with the health regen to be able to turn around that kill onto Mr. Ravencat. Another one going on over to the Akshan here for the side of When in Rome. And, you know, they were falling behind for a little while here, Gigatron, but they've really come back in this game as well and now have themselves a gold lead as we're going to fight on over this Dragon. That's a steal away from My Back is Sora, who manages to get the big ultimate, but he's going to get shut down right back from the side of No Ray. It's a 3v5 fight. They've got the Demonic Ascension Swain here, but he's going to get taken on down by the Cassiopeia damage. They don't have their Akshan. He's busy split pushing in the top lane, and that's going to be a one fight here for the side of Oblivion Esports. And now Esmond trying to chase down onto this Scion, using all the mobility at his disposal, and he's got plenty of that, but he doesn't have enough damage. Scion just too tanky there, shrugging off the burst fires.
Yeah, Scion just being the monstrosity he needs to be, getting tanky, very healthy, able to do what he needs to do, but this Rift Arrow keeps getting fought over, and I wonder who's going to go to, because you have a 4v3 here.
Yeah, F369 going to be the target, getting locked on down. The chain CC is so good here. He's grounded on top of the miasma, and he's going to get taken on down there by Esmond's damage. No Ray looking to keep this charge going, trying to finish off on a Zellerox. One more punch is going to do it. My Back has the opportunity to trade back on a No Ray here. No Ray going to barely escape the red smite burn, almost taking him on down, as is the Vision of Empire. He avoids them both and is going to be able to recall here with his life.
It's crazy to think that he gets away with that, especially against the Rift Herald too. And it's just able to really get away. Unfortunately, you had it where the Vision of Empire just doesn't come through and get that extra tick of damage onto him. But this is where, hey, you know what? Team fights are still pretty even. They're only up 2k gold here for Oblivion Esports. So it's still a very close game for Winter Wing.
Yeah, definitely is here. A little interesting itemization option coming on here from Bam. Even Shroud. Thoughts arrive like butterflies as he's going to set up for a little bit of additional chain CC there and try to get those CC chains being a little bit more effective like they got on F369 there just previously.
Yeah, I think the Evan Shroud's still good though because of the fact that you're able to still get what you want, which is basically you're immobilizing champions all the time. Or if you get immobilized, then worst case scenario is now you have so much. But
Lockdown onto Zelarox, a nice snipe there with the Solar Flare going to net another kill there to the side of Oblivion Esports. And now F369 and Mr. Ravencat are going for the full-on one-on-one once again. That's a fully channeled comeuppance, but it's just not enough. The Fiora is the grand duelist. She wins these 1v1s, and she takes out onto Akshan. That's going to be 2 more kills going over to the pocket of Oblivion Esports.
Yeah, 2 more kills for them. I like this because of the fact that it means, hey, you know what? They are definitely hungry for this win again. Regardless, it's a pride game series. You know, they got the pride of taking out the fact that Winter Rome will not be able to move on with play-ins. But bam, going in right now.
Yeah, the follow-up coming in forward on to Bam here. He's going very low, but it's not the target that they are looking for. It's going to be a 1-for-1 there, but my back is the one who ends up falling on down, and F369 still hasn't respawned as Elarox is arriving to the party a little bit late, but I have OBCD, the quadra kill again. Can he do it 2 games in a row? The lockdown is coming on across, but Mr. Ravencat is just a little bit too quick, is moving away just a little bit too far, and it is not going to be a second penta kill for I have OBCD, but oh my goodness, that fight! Basically 3v5 there. I have OBCD carries it, gets himself 4 kills there on the swing.
Yeah, gets himself 4 kills. I mean, that's still great. I mean, great Kadra. Unfortunately, doesn't get the penta. And I look at that. Again, this is just showing why this Swain is a very dominating champion for him in these game series.
Yeah, that is a huge turnaround there from the side of When in Rome, trying to keep themselves in this game. The gold lead's still going to be in favor of Oblivion Esports, and they're looking to get this fight started onto Y Rebellion. He's grounded here. He's trying to stay alive. So far, he's not even gone into the zombie mode. A big dive in from the backside from My Back is sore, but he's going to fall on down first and foremost. I have OBCD going incredibly low here as well. No Ray, still pretty healthy, but so many targets low on both sides. Esmond arrives for this fight a little bit late. What can he get done? He's not willing to dive further into the enemy jungle without any vision, and so this is going to be a back away here from the side of Oblivion. They think that they can get themselves the dragon, though, and so they're going to kite towards it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they're definitely very ahead right now. They are in a better position. I mean, like, unfortunately, a couple of them are a little weak where they could get picked out and potentially die here. But, again, they're taking that smartness of trying to get there early so they can try and get some damage going. Or try to set up for some more, they should say. So this way, when they try to engage, they're able to keep everything here for this dragon, which unfortunately will be no contest.
Coming through onto the dragon, they are going to be able to get that one for themselves. 2-2 in the dragon game, 19-16 on the kills. It's been a bloody game so far, and it's still pretty close. Only about 1k gold lead in the favor of Oblivion Esports. Now, moving up towards the Baron is going to be When in Rome. This is the last objective on the map. They're going to take themselves some vision control and try to get the side of Oblivion to come into them. Instead, though, they're actually just going to start the Baron up right away. They have this Akshan. He can do it pretty quickly. They got the Diana as well. They think they might be able to melt it on through before Oblivion Esports can mount themselves a response.
Yeah, I mean,
Dive on in, coming on through from No Ray. He is going to get locked on down and taken out by F369 as the Baron has already fallen on down there for the side of When in Rome, and they are winning this fight on the backside as well. I have OBCD pulls back on in. Bam is able to finish him off. Mr. Ravencat is over there finishing off on an F369. 3 members down for the side of When in Rome, 2 for the side of Oblivion as Esmond is kiting this one out all day. They cannot get onto this Zeri. They have no chance of ever catching her as Mr. Ravencat coming back on in from his trip to the enemy jungle to finish off the fight. 2 more kills coming on through for him as the Baron is wiped off the map. All 5 members of When in Rome taken on out, and Oblivion Esports with control pushing out enemy turrets.
Yeah, I mean, Oblivion played smart there, tried to steal away the Baron there from When in Rome, but you have to sacrifice Norway at that point. But you're getting really good fights coming out from them. And Asmund is just so far ahead, too. I think they have to really respect the fact that, one, you're on a champion that snowballs very well with kills and minions, and she is just so far ahead right now. It's not even funny. And they really need to get respected, because if they don't, it's just going to be able to mow through them pretty quickly.
Yeah, for sure here. That's going to be F369 getting back out of the map here. Has been taken out, marked by Mr. Ravencat in these last couple of fights, and it looks like it's about to happen again as Mr. Ravencat with the level advantage, with the gold lead, with the item lead, chasing onto F369, takes it to about half HP, and he's forced to swing away there in response to this ultimate being utilized by Mr. Ravencat, and that's a pretty short cooldown at this point in the game. It's going to be back on up relatively soon.
Exactly, since it's going to be up relatively soon. I think that's just really good for them. They have that sneak coming in. Oh, he revealed himself there for F369, but I like the Akshan that it's been performing. I'd say still pretty good, even though he's got the 5 deaths. He's been able to still get some good heroic swings, be able to deliver a good amount of damage. So the only problem that I see here for When in Rome is there's really no objectives up other than turrets. And since all the outer turrets are down, you have to try to hit an inner turret. And they're definitely not going to let them do that.
Yeah, my back. Coming on down here, trying to make a play on a Mr. Ravencat. 1 versus 2. F369 stepping up here, seeing if he can bait that Fiora into playing a little bit more aggressively. The recall is being channeled by my back. Looks like he is going to back on away here, but no, making the decision to go on in. The play comes on through. Mr. Ravencat getting collapsed on here, gets pulled back on it by the Moonfall. The damage is immune there by that riposte, and they're almost turning it back around onto my back. Finally, F369 manages to finish off the kill and set up for the rest of the team to get the fight start. Here comes Y Rebellion trying to make an engage happen onto No Ray. No Ray going to be the first one to fall on down here. Zalarox finishes off that kill. Bam, in the stasis is certainly going to fall on down here soon, but is Princeton coming on in on the side, going to be able to finish off on IFOBCD. The split push from my back is working, but it's going to be F369 actually, who takes the recall to try to rejoin the fight as soon as it is already over. IFOBCD goes down, No Ray goes down. It's a 1-for-1 in the mid lane with Mr. Ravencat still waiting on the respawn. F369 can interrupt a whole bunch of recalls here, but he phase checks into 3 members. Shut down coming on through from Esmond, and that's going to be F369 taken off the map for about 50 seconds.
Yeah, this is where it's just crazy. I mean, you had a fight that lasted this long, and it's just being punishing again for When in Rome, but you still only have about roughly a 1k gold difference, so it's really surprising that they're only just ahead by 1k with what they've done here for Oblivion Esports.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of it to be found in the CS here, especially in the jungle. My back has been really efficient, clearing out a whole bunch more camps, even though he's ended up losing his life a whole bunch of times. No Ray finding the engage, not getting the kick in the direction he wanted, but my back A little bit of a misplay there, going to end up ulting in place, not getting anybody up, and now Y Rebellion is left out to dry. He's going to be forced to jump on over the wall with the flash as F369 once again engaged in a 1v1 against Mr. Ravencat, and the lunges, they're just too strong there as F369 falls on down in the 1v1. The Dragon going to go on over here to Oblivion Esports, and it's IVOBCD going over aggressive, trying to make the play happen, trying to regen up, and the Demonic Ascension going to be able to flash away and manage to stay alive, but this split push from Mr. Ravencat is still coming on through, and Esmond is on a rampage as he locks down IVOBCD and takes him out as his teammates complete their recalls. My back now is the only one back here to deal with Mr. Ravencat so far, but Y Rebellion and Zellerox are coming on in to back him up. It is going to be Mr. Ravencat claiming the inhibitor and backing away.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? You're able to get the objective that you wanted. And really no issue, too, because of the fact that just so far, but oh my, no Ray.
No Ray getting locked down here once again. That's both stuns, or both dashes rather, used by my back, but it's not enough to finish him off. And now Princeton is here with the damage, flashes on in, gets one last Q. The heal from Zellerox is not enough. Princeton finishes off that kill, takes my back off the map for another 40 seconds, and continues to give Oblivion Esports the man advantage as the Baron is spawning up here in just about 5 seconds, and the smite for When in Rome is no longer available.
Exactly, and here's what could be the crazy thing that could happen too. Akshan could revive Y Rebellion there, and if he's able to do that, then again, that's just something that they definitely are planning towards. But we do see that Baron is being started up right now by Oblivion Esports. Oh, F369, my guy, you just keep getting brutalized by this Fiora.
Yeah, she's scaled up a little bit too much now. She's got the hull breaker. She's so strong in these isolated 1v1s, and F369 cannot manage to escape as No Ray is getting locked on down. Zellerox is hitting the Baron over the wall, but is going to end up getting smited down by No Ray. Another lockdown is coming on forward onto the rest of the members. Y Rebellion has been taken on out, as has IVOBCD, and there's the one-on-one going Mr. Ravencat's way once again as he finishes off that kill onto my back, and with the Baron at their backs, with 5 members standing up against only one in the form of Zellerox, it looks like it's going to be Oblivion Esports looking to close on out this series the way that they started it, with a dominant performance here over When in Rome.
Yeah, I mean, this is a dominance one. This is great. I love this whole change of pace, change of game series that we've had, where it's been a roller coaster. This one where it was like very even for the most part, and then now we see here it's a 10k gold gap now coming over to Oblivion. So yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate that When in Rome, 1, couldn't get the win the first time around. They get play-ins. 2, the fact that they don't unfortunately get the win the series means then their pride is probably a little bit shaken up there. And again, just a crazy game coming out from Esmond and Mr. Ravencat again.
Yeah, no, huge game there for those guys. They end up coming out on top here, and it is going to be Oblivion Esports finishing the league in 7th, When in Rome in 8th, moving themselves up to 2 and 5 there. You know, a little bit of a bittersweet victory is going to be the end of their season, but I'm sure they're happy that they were able to end it on a great close series here up against When in Rome, getting themselves a great game 1, getting themselves a great game 3, but being challenged the whole way there in game number 2, and even here in game number 3, which was so close for so long.
Yeah, it was definitely a close game, and this is where, again, just the whole roller coaster of one side winning and then the other side winning, and now we're at the point where it was even for a long time in this one, and yeah, one had to buck and just start getting more kills for themselves. And once the Fiora got to the point of being able to solo champion, she was just able to do it no problem. And I think that's what's really hurt When in Rome in that case. But unfortunately, When in Rome will be definitely not only out of plans, but did not get the win tonight.
Yeah.
What are you excited for? You know, with next week coming up. You know,
oh yeah, I mean we're getting into the play-ins now. We're starting to get into a little bit of postseason action here in the ADL, and it's definitely going to be a lot of fun to start to get to see some cross-group play, because you know, watching some of these top teams up in their respective groups play against each other always produces us some of the best games. And now, that's going to start happening more and more as we get into the play-in stage here. We start watching these guys battle it out to see who is going to make it into the bracket stage of our playoffs, which is sure to be the best part of the whole season and very exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would be really excited to see who kind of gets up there. I know a couple of TA teams are in that upper part of the brackets there for both sides, and I would love to see. Ideally, I would love to see a TA versus TA, but it's never going to happen. But this is definitely going to be a fun play. I mean, both parts of the bracket have good teams in there, and I definitely would love to see again just these games coming up. But um
All right. Looks like we're going to be joined by Heacher here in just a
okay.
few short moments. Yeah, just getting a little bit in connection with our producer here to see who is going to be coming on in here. Heacher was subbing in for the mid lane over on the side of Oblivion Esports for a couple of the games this split. Uh Seems like he's going to be the one joining us on the desk here in just a few short moments. But yeah, as we start to get over, towards the play-ins, a lot of teams still in contention here, and pretty close group stages all around here. When we start looking on over there, a lot of teams at 4 wins, a lot of teams at 5 wins. Going to be very exciting to start to watch them face off against each other. As I believe this is Heacher now here in our chat. You didn't play tonight, but congrats on the win anyway, my man. Welcome to the desk here.
Hello. Yeah, I'm one of the subs. I played, I think 2 weeks ago or last week. I don't even remember at this point.
All right, yeah. So, have you been working with the team a lot then? Are you kind of working in sort of a coachy role, or are you just there for the VOD reviews? You're just there to sub in for the 1 week?
So I was brought on to as a sub like early in the season, and I'm kind of just picked up as needed. Um, I am like on a separate team with uh Princeton, Norway, and the starting support, Pierce Blades, uh, in Risen. So I like know them.
Oh,
Oh,
we have lost our boy there.
unfortunately, technical difficulties do happen sometimes.
All right.
Um,
Well, we'll give him a couple minutes to see if he comes back. I was already making a point there before he was able to join us in the call. It's going to be an exciting playing stage once we get started here. The Freljord group. Okay, cool. He's back. He's back. All right. What's up, my man? Welcome back here. You
Yeah.
you were playing. Yeah, you were playing.
So I know the players well.
Yeah.
And Raven and I we're good buddies. I love that guy. I'm originally his sub since I am a top main, but I love him.
gotcha, man. Yeah, so you said you played on another team, with a couple of them there in Risen, and this is kind of where you kind of came back over here, potentially help out for when needed. How do you feel? Just the kind of game state is like for yourself. Like, is it like favoring your matchups that you kind of want, or is it still that ever changing chaos that you're just trying to figure out what's that niche that you kind of want to just stay into?
I mean, for me personally, I think I'm pretty like adjustable. I
Mhm.
don't think this meta is like particularly good for me. Um, I I think I'm like a little bit better on like more of a weak side top, like play hard through either mid jungle or bot lane.
Mhm.
But I do think, you know, players I'm on teams with, such as the players on this team, are doing pretty well in this meta. There's a lot of picks that they're good at that are more viable than usual, like Ari maybe, that, you know, they have comfort on that a lot of other players who like stick to the Syndra Ori aren't as comfortable on.
Awesome. So, were you involved in prep for this week at all? As you guys were coming on into it, were already mathematically eliminated before the series got started. Don't know if you guys knew that or not before
Yeah.
you were getting started, but yeah. So what were you guys doing this past week then to get ready for this match? Was it you still really put in the time and effort to make sure you're going to be able to be competitive and try to get that 7th place for the Pride, or did you take it a little bit easier this last week?
I mean, no one's gonna like come into this saying like we're gonna just give up and just play because we have to play. I mean, that ruins the spirit of it. But it is Pierce Blade, the starting support's birthday, so I know he's taken the day off. I'm not 100% sure if he would have had like we been in the playoffs running, but you know, happy birthday to him. He's at like a barbecue or something.
Shout out to Pierce winning it for him for sure. That's great to hear.
I want some barbecue, as you mentioned that. Um, but yeah, no, this is great. I mean, it's kind of good mental for you guys to kind of just be like, yeah, you definitely want to still win. Like, not that it's not fun to be like, okay, yeah, we don't care about it. I mean, I saw um, both teams were memeing about wanting an ARAM to happen, which I am surprised y'all didn't try to just play random champions and just go for it kind of a thing. But um, definitely interesting to still again see that they came out on top. Would love to see you guys more, and everything, here at Aegis, but unfortunately that's going to be terminated here as the unfortunate 7th place for you guys. But we do see you guys in Risen. What night do you play in Risen? Is it Divine or
We play in Risen Dominate under
Down?
yeah, SDC Death Cards is our team. It's a different org, but like
So,
same
yeah,
player, very
well,
similar players.
great to hear for you guys there. So, any off-season plans for the squad here? As you're gonna take some time off, get ready for Aegis. Would be summer. Would be the next one, I suppose. Any plans for what's gonna go on for that one yet? Or are you guys just gonna wait and see and take it easy for now? Focus on Risen.
Not sure. There hasn't really been plans discussed, so
All right. Well, great to hear. Well, we're going to close out this stream here pretty soon. Want to give you the opportunity, Eacher, to say whatever you want to everybody at home, whatever your teammates who are surely tuning on in here. I see Mr. Ravencat flaming you in the Twitch chat. Yeah, go ahead. Anything you want to say?
well, happy birthday, Pierce Blade. That's the main thing.
All
The
right,
legend.
great to hear. Happy birthday, Pierce Blade. Thank you for joining us, teacher. Appreciate you taking some time to chat with us about your team, and congratulations on your win tonight. And from myself, Gigatron, and Samalcramon Production, everybody have yourselves a fantastic night. We'll be back next week to start on off our play-ins. We'll be back for the rest of the week with the other Aegis leagues, but that'll do it for us tonight.